fucking late for you. It's really fucking late for you.
Only a little.
I feel like you go to bed at like 8 p.m. I feel like if we try to organize anything, you're like, too late for me. I'm in bed.
I don't think you're thinking of the right guy. Last night I went to bed at 4.
Yeah, which is why I think you're lying to me when I try to schedule something. Like when you, me, and Gas were trying to schedule, or when we were trying to schedule trivia, I feel like all of your times are like, well, that's too late. I'm EP.
Oh, okay. No, back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Your sleep schedule's
Yeah.
now fucked. You are now a gremlin, is what I'm hearing, like me.
That's back when I had a job where I had to be awake at 6 a.m.
Okay, that's entirely fair. Okay, I take it all back. That is a valid reason to not be.
I woke up at noon today.
Hell yeah, but let's go. I wish I woke up at noon today. I had a meeting at 9 a.m. and I went to bed probably around 4.
Oh, heavens, no. Yeah, me and Spuddy were supposed to talk about a video that he's making, and we talked for about 5 or 6 hours, and then we're like, hey, weren't we supposed to talk about this video?
Honestly, that is a risk of any time I hop on a VC. Okay, Borderlands 4 trailer dropped.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, did you miss it? It was at the show called the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a big stage. They host and give out awards to video games and like show trailers.
You know, personally, I thought the Elden Ring DLC should have won Game of the Year.
Oh my god, are we gonna have this fight? The only thing I know about that DLC, other than the fact that it's a DLC nominated for Game of the Year,
Is the DLC not a fucking game? Yeah.
is that it was your prize for that fucking trivia game you made us do.
Yeah, and you didn't win.
I didn't.
So
I
can
was.
see why you're glad it didn't win Game of the Year.
I was bitter. I was holding a grudge against Borderlands trivia with Miqueagul and friends.
Oh no, I totally could have won that. Unfortunately, Gas. He still hasn't hit me up about it, by the way.
I could have won it and then played 40 hours of Elden Ring to unlock this DLC that's nominated for Game of the Year.
At least 40 hours.
Jesus Christ, man.
It's
Do you think it should have been nominated for Game of the Year?
No.
Because why?
How is there not a category for DLC?
Honestly, great question. Great. I think there should be. Phantom Liberty got robbed without it, and I just no idea.
I think my voice has gotten deeper.
Mine sounds deeper. Not always. It depends. I think my mic just changed. That's it. My mic has changed a few times.
That's the thing. Like, I've had the exact same mic with the exact same settings, and I sound completely different. I don't know what I did right.
You still sound like you to me. I would like a lower voice. I would.
Like, if you look, there's like entire series without dying, part 1.
Okay.
That's a different guy.
You're like, I don't know him.
That's the exact same mic.
I'll have to go really evaluate this. Because I can tell when mine changes more.
Haven't seen that video before.
You know, I can't pull the sound of your memory, or the sound of your memory.
How can you not pull the sound of your memory from my voice?
You know, it's how I go to sleep every night. So I listen to your videos, obviously. And so.
No wonder you never sleep.
Exactly. Telepath does listen to like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye playlist to go to sleep. And stay asleep. They like need the noise on. And so I'll wake up to like Markiplier and Wade like just screaming in Phasmophobia. Oh,
that sounds about right.
Yeah. Honestly, it lulls me to sleep now. So Borderlands 4.
Oh yeah,
even.
so Borderlands, that thing that we play sometimes.
That thing that we sometimes play and sometimes are known to talk about. Yeah, that thing.
All right. I'll be the first to say it. Hot take. Borderlands 4. I bet it's going to be pretty decent.
Ooh, hot take. Fresh
Solid,
out of the skillet.
Somewhere between like 7 out of 10, maybe a little more. Maybe
IGN would be so proud of you right now.
I know.
Okay, so you think it looks decent? Any other thoughts? Feelings?
Well, I do have one massive complaint.
Oh god, okay.
Okay, it's not a massive complaint at all. See, the problem is everyone's given their opinions, right?
The internet has given their opinions on this trailer?
That is the massive complaint, is the massive number of complaints based on fucking nothing. Guys,
yeah.
we don't know anything.
We don't know anything. The assumptions.
The most valid complaint that I've heard so far is, wow, that trailer didn't really show much. I was like, you're kind of right.
It also showed a lot, though. I think that like once we have context for stuff, like we'll be able to go back and be like the Leo
Yeah.
DiCaprio meme of being like, oh, there's that. Like it showed us grapple grabbers and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I think
Oh,
once we know
grappling
what we're
hooks.
looking at,
Need it.
we
Need
need.
grappling hooks.
You do?
I'm really hoping the grappling hooks are going to be able to, like, kind of like mantling where you can use it anywhere, but the paint just shows you where you can do it.
I bet it will. I bet there'll be like a lot of anchor kind of points because it doesn't feel like something that's going to be to get past this one quest. You need this grapple. Like that's so much work to put in a game for those physics for that.
It's like the rogue site. It's in it for one mission and throw it away forever.
No, yeah, I saw Joel's tweet like, oh, I hope it's not just here for like an hour of game or like 5 minutes of gameplay or whatever. And I'm like, literally no. Like there's no way.
God, God forbid he says something positive.
Honestly, Joel's like, bro, I'm excited. Like
It's
it's
like
one to say.
he hasn't said anything outright negative, but everything he has said so far is like, I hope this isn't in it. I hope they don't do this mistake. It's like, brother.
Here's to devil's
What?
advocate this for creators, I feel like, is that
Uh-huh.
the internet has a lot of opinions. And I think it's easier to be cautiously optimistic. However, I feel like K6 is cautiously optimistic about stuff, and then most people are otherwise cautiously negative. And
Yeah,
yeah,
he's like, oh, this is gonna be such a weird analogy. You
I'm
ever
listening.
so on Tinder, you ever
Okay.
you ever see a profile that's like, here's the things that I don't want. This, and you're like, okay, fucking wow.
Cool, sold me already.
Just open it with nothing but negativity. I'll pass.
Honestly, yes.
Personally.
I understand.
I'm sure I'm gonna fit at least one of these. K6's method I do agree with. You know what he's done?
K6 is like Hinge, where there are the prompts and the questions of what I would like to see and things I
Yeah.
like.
K6 is tweeting out questions like, hey, what's this gonna be like? That yeah, because we don't fucking know anything.
That's I do think there is a very real reaction that people's inherent like knee jerk is to be negative or to be like, oh well, it better not this. And so I think it's easy to fall into that trap when we do have the excitement of a trailer, but when people come to creators or devs or whoever for answers and are going like, oh my god, like are we going to have dedicated drops? Like, are we going to be able to grapple anywhere? And then when a creator can't speak for it or devs not authorized to speak on it, and then it gets kind of that like mushy. Like, I get the like I'm going to try to be Switzerland here, but it just tends to come across in like you're not excited for it. And I would like to hope that most Borderlands fans are excited for new Borderlands content, because if you like Borderlands, why wouldn't you be excited for new content?
Yeah, don't let the Twitter hate mob fool you. The vast majority of people are probably silently like, oh, cool.
Well, that's the thing. Most
Nice.
people on the internet are discontent. Like, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
It's easier to be negative on the internet, and that's
Literally,
yeah.
the only things I have seen: people complaining, and people complaining that people are complaining.
Yeah.
And then
I
you've
will
got like
tweet.
you and me, where we're
Yeah.
like, fuck it, it's fine, probably. We
I'm like,
don't know.
I hope it's good. I'm excited. Look, people are hot. I literally, dude, I tweeted out like the gorgeous fucking angelic looking probably evil woman in the trailer that we get like that one shot of. Like she's black and has the gold and like the white and everything.
Yeah,
Like
she
gorgeous.
looks like
You thinking
I had
Arcane?
something. No, I never saw Arcane.
Really? You seem like you
She,
feel like you would be an Arcane guy.
yeah, I just heard League of Legends and it was like, ew.
That's fair, but it's nothing like
But
this.
apparently that's presumptuous of me.
No, yeah, it's yeah, but no, Mel in there is a lot of the comparisons there. But some asshole was like, it's a copy of this character, and they showed a gif of Mercy from Overwatch. I'm like,
I need to double check what Mercy looks like
nothing like that.
because I'm pretty confident nothing like That's a different person.
I will even show you the side by side screenshot because
I
I
was
just
gonna
did it.
say something like this almost looks like a StarCraft character, like some kind of
It
yeah.
genuinely boggled my
What the
mind.
fuck, man? What did I think this looked like? Because StarCraft is way off. It certainly wasn't that. I was just like, that's the first thing I thought
No,
of.
but that's the thing. People are just saying, oh, like trailer art style looks like this. And they're games that I swear to God they've never played or looked at. It's a buzzword that one person says and people run off with it. But no, I like tweeted this photo of this like angelic person that I would pay money to step on me and was like, I don't see anyone screaming about this queen. So can we like just scream about this queen for a minute? And people were like, she's mid. Like Moxie will always be the best in the franchise. I'm like, this is not a tweet about who do you think the hottest person that you want to fucking Borderlands is, and this isn't anything about. This was me going, look at this character design. Oh my god, I'm dying. And like, you're gonna call this angel mid? Number one, two, you're gonna come in and say, well, it's not Moxie. Like, what are? There's nothing. Some people are just you're never gonna win with. Like, this is a beautiful character concept that we have a second of footage of and no other information. And people are either like, it should have been a vault hunter, they fumbled the bag, or absolutely mid. This is bullshit. I'm like, I think that your racism is showing, buddy. Like, I don't. There's nothing. There's nothing here to complain about. There's a gorgeous 2-second clip, and that is it.
If I could weigh in,
Do
smash.
smash, dude. Smash. Pretty much everyone in the trailer. Smash.
That's all.
I did. I did. Dude, Randy tweeted, Timekeeper is the name of the villain, like, that we get to see, right? And we know so little. We haven't seen anything, like, whatever, just a name. Name, make brain go burr. The Steam description, make brain go burr. So I was like, oh god, no, I know me, this is a thing. And Randy had...
There's a Steam description now?
There is a Steam description now.
Oh,
and
I bet this... Well, let's see how it... how
apps.
corporate is this written? Hold on.
It's pretty corporate.
Oh, good.
But it does give information. So the bit about Timekeeper in it was break free from the oppressive Timekeeper, a ruthless dictator who dominates the masses from on high. Now a world-altering catastrophe threatens his perfect order, unleashing mayhem across the planet. And my brain immediately was like, smash. And so Randy tweeted out like a picture of the Timekeeper and said, the Timekeeper, you're going to have to do something about him. And I quote retweeted and just said, maybe I can fix him.
So I imagine that world-altering catastrophe is a moon shattering through the atmosphere, yeah?
I'm going to imagine that is probably part of it. Yeah.
And also, like, we've been on Elpis before. That is a catastrophe. Holy shit, that place is scary.
I love Elpis, but yeah, no, it's not
There's
ideal.
nothing friendly about that place.
I'm going to guess that we, as in anyone on Elpis or anyone involved with the moonshotting of a moon, is probably to blame for the disruption of the world-altering event. But that's my super highbrow theory.
My apartment, I'd probably become a ruthless dictator too.
If they walk through your apartment, I think that's fair.
If someone phase walked the moon into my apartment, they'd be like, "That guy's unreasonably angry right now." It's a pretty measured response.
Yeah,
but I guess we don't know what the response is yet. Maybe it's not measured. Maybe he's angry.
Maybe he's angry.
Maybe he's a bad guy. I don't know.
But maybe I could fix him. I could. Look at him.
You and men with masks. I swear to God.
I thought you were just going to say daddy issues. Is it the mask? I don't... you said that, and I was going to say there are literally no other that fit this description, but I do kind of have a thing for Ghostface Michael Myers, so...
Oh my god, fuck, of course you do. What about Jason?
No, I don't really care about Jason.
Too soggy? You don't like...
Yeah, I don't like camps.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Not a camper.
Ghostface, a lake person.
I love Billy Loomis so much, and I love Stu too. I just love the original Scream so much, and Michael Myers. I don't know what it is. Maybe Mask. You may have just unlocked everything about me.
Well,
I don't know.
Krieg? What about Krieg?
No, would not smash. Krieg, I want to hug.
So maybe it's not the Mask then.
Yeah, I don't think it's the Mask. I think it's the evil, corporate dictator. Really. But also, I don't know.
It seems like this guy's just a dictator. There's nothing corporate about him. So
that is true. Johnny Silverhand also isn't corporate and would smash. So, he's opposite of corporate.
Who is that again?
He's Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk.
Right. I
Yeah.
never finished Cyberpunk.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Finish Cyberpunk.
Well, after 7 hours, I got through the intro, and I was like, "This is fucking
And then the
bad."
game opens up. It's not bad, dude. Fucking shut the fuck up, lady.
I know it's not bad.
It's
I
a
just like the
perfect
intro
game.
is
It's
really,
so
really
good.
bad.
What
Like
path did you
there's a
pick?
lot of stuff they had to throw at you all at once, and I get it, but also I'm just like,
Did you actually get through the intro?
I did, yeah.
Like you got to like meeting Johnny?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and I like fought some what were they called? I want to call them Psycho Reavers, but that's Borderlands.
Oh, the yeah, no, yeah, you're good. Um, I know Pask was like, yeah, I'm like, I'm through the not orientation, the introduction or whatever, and hadn't even got to thing with Dex yet, and I was like, okay, you have a little bit more to go, but I promise the game opens up after.
So he like got through the first mission with was it Jackie? Is that his
Yeah,
name?
yeah, Jackie.
Yeah, he got through that first mission was like, that's the whole thing, right? It's like,
No.
no, you gotta do the whole brain dance, and it's super fun.
Dude, the brain dance is the worst part of that game.
The epilepsy simulator.
Honestly, fair, but
Literally, like it was literally an epilepsy test that they give you in the
yeah,
game
not a
from
fan of
what
the
someone I don't
brain
trust
dance.
told me.
I need a mod who just gets rid of like lets me fast forward through the brain dance because then I would play the game so much more. But anyway, fucking
I heard you
mask.
don't have to do any of them after the first one, but God, they were annoying.
Yeah, it's learning the mechanic and then it's some of them are like helpful later, but yeah, it's just once you have the mechanic down, it's just a couple minutes to like sit there and like drink your drink and like fast forward rewind and it's fine. But it
Mhm.
definitely isn't as immersive as I think it wants to be. But I don't know how to fix it if you just have that mechanic in there anyway. Like I think it's the most immersive way to do that kind of mechanic.
I just wanted to blow shit up and hack people's brains.
You
I
can do
feel like
that. That is the
not too
game
much
for
to
you.
ask, and it
No,
was too much to ask for about 7 hours. How much time do I have in Cyberpunk?
too little probably.
Probably, according to Tarkus as well, 7.2 hours. Yeah.
I think I spent that in character creator on my PlayStation.
Dude, I'm so good at character creators. Like, you know how back in a long ass time ago when Skyrim was popular, people were making jokes like, "Yeah, you spend 100 hours in game and finally you've started because you finished your character." I hit randomize until it was cool, and then that was it. I spent 2 minutes.
Oh God, I wish that were me. No, I grew up playing The Sims. We gotta we tweak that node structure. We get down to the detail.
Anytime oh yeah, I realized it wasn't randomized. It was just presets, which is worse.
Yeah, it is worse.
Okay, so on Wonderlands, I actually did do that. I
Spend
found
time.
out I found out very quickly that there's a button to turn off limiters on a lot of those sliders.
Yeah,
Um, my character looked like a frog person with a red afro.
A plus.
10 out of 10, game of the year.
It was quite.
Other than a lot of the things about it.
I like Wonderlands.
I also like Wonderlands. I have told people, hey, you should absolutely buy it for $20.
The only community that bitches so much about in-game is the Borderlands community. And I get it as someone who's played too much of this game than what we get out of this game. Most video games are too expensive, and I get that's just where they are right now, and that's across the board. But like most games, it would be like, if it's $20, buy it. So I would pay a little more for Wonderlands. I did pay the 99 for the like the big like pack of it, whatever. Don't recommend that, but I'd probably
I
pay
feel
40
like
bucks for it.
I feel like if it's gonna be an RPG, especially in I know it's a different franchise, but in a franchise that's kind of built up on the whole idea of like you find these guns, you get cool shit as you go, and then you finish your build and you have stuff, and then what do you do? Well, fucking nothing, I guess. What?
What am I?
In like Borderlands 2 or 3, you just restart and do a playthrough with the cool shit you found. And maybe that only applies or appeals to me. I don't know.
I think the thing is, again, it goes back to like what we talked a little bit about, like before we sat down to do this, was just like people aren't going to be happy no matter what. I literally saw a thing on Twitter where someone was complaining and wanting like a specific type of raid and like all this stuff and like why haven't we ever done this and why isn't this in BL4? And the response from Dev was literally like we have, and it was a picture of the Chaos Chambers. Like it's like
Oh no.
it's one of those things where people are like, well, why haven't we done this? And like
It's
when
either we have or everyone would hate it, except for you, one particular person.
and it's very much like yeah, like it's like things like arms race I think were really close to being something that people really loved. And there's a lot of stuff that I feel like could be like repurposed and retweaked, but people are like, why hasn't this ever been thing? And we act like it's never occurred to like a dev team, like a massive AAA dev team to like do something that other games are doing. And I'm like, I guarantee you this has probably been a conversation, like at some point of making it, you know, MMORPG, making it this, making custom Vault Hunters instead of normal Vault Hunters, making, you know, a specific type of raid, or making it more Destiny, or making this kind of looter. Like all of these conversations that people think are like hot takes on the internet, like but probably been had to ad nauseum behind closed doors. And so I'm more interested in like why, like I'm truly genuinely interested in why things can't make it in games or like be removed. Like, have you seen this is less for Borderlands because people don't care about cinematics as much, but the Naughty Dog bit of the little clip they showed of their new game at the Game Awards that she puts on a jacket in the scene.
What game was it? Naughty Dog. I swear I know, but I'm blanking. What the fuck did they make? They make like Far Cry, all that stuff, right?
No, that's now I'm oh god, what the, dude, I fucking Far Cry. My brain. Far Cry. Oh my god. Now I look like a fucking idiot. I literally cosplay Far Cry. What the fuck are they? It's Ubisoft and it's just Ubisoft I'm thinking. It's just
Oh,
Ubisoft.
well, now I feel bad for slandering Naughty Dog.
No. Naughty
Fucking
Dog does like The Last of Us, Uncharted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I those games all just kind of like blur together in my mind, even though I know they're so very different, I
They're
think.
they're very good. The point is, they did a clip of their new game Intergalactica that, of course, the internet had opinions about because it was a woman of color as a lead. So they're doing the thing, whatever. But there's a scene where she goes, it's like a space station kind of thing, and she just puts on a jacket, and that's it. And that alone, I've heard so many horror stories. Like, it's fascinating to me about how difficult it is for that, because those are two different character models, right? And then the way you have to mesh it, like, so much goes into a character doing something like that that we don't see it. That's why we don't see people changing outfits in the middle of games. And they had her do it by like panning the camera to like this TV and this action shot as she pulls on a sleeve. So they rig like one full sleeve, and then you can tell like off camera, like they've swapped the model over, and she's like adjusting it, but it's seamless and you don't process it. It just is, you see a character putting on a jacket in a video game. And that is truly fascinating to me. And like the breakdown of like why we avoid so many like beats or moments that people are like, well, why didn't we have more time for this? Or why don't we ever see this person change? And I want to know that, like, rather than going, this is everything I think it would be perfect for Borderlands that work in these other games that we don't know. I want to hear why they wouldn't work in Borderlands. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested of how we got to the decisions we did. Like, why did we cut Pearls in BL3? If that is, it was older gen consoles and things like that, and why we're doing this one. And now people are mad that this is a next gen console game, even though PlayStation 4 was, over 10 years ago at this point. Like,
Okay. I can't stand that take. It's like, okay, dude, if you want your PS4 to run it, that console came out like what, 10 years ago?
yeah, I think longer now. I
So
think it's 12.
you want them to intentionally use outdated hardware.
Yeah. That's about to be replacing it. Like we're leading more to the gen of having the next gen of Xbox and PlayStation more than PS4. Like it was 2013, so it's almost 12 years ago.
Unless they want them to like make the game twice.
Yeah.
And
Which then we
port
get
it
mad about
to-
when people do that.
You port it to PS4 and PS5, just make it like look worse on PS4, which is like, okay, fair. How much time do you want this game to take? Do you want to have it this decade? I don't think it would actually take that long, but I do think it's a little silly of a take, because it's like, well, if they only used old hardware and it looked bad relatively bad because of it, people would complain. And if they only use the new hardware, apparently people are going to complain.
That's the thing. And I get it's from like a point of, privilege of having upgrade machines, stuff like that, but video games are also a privilege. And so it's just it's difficult. Like I want things to be accessible, but like this is a next generation game that the goal is to be able to play it like we do like Borderlands 2 and play it on consoles from now and things like that. It has to be moving forward. It has to be next gen. And to give us the things that the community is demanding and saying we want, it does have to be on newer hardware to support that. And so when it's competing with games that are made with newer hardware, you
Like,
can't.
look, if they took a console from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, made it obsolete, that's fucked.
Yeah.
The PS4 dropped in November of 2013.
Yeah. And time makes no
Fellas,
sense, but like,
it's run its course.
no, like it's the
It's
Xbox
done.
360, Xbox One. Like I get it. I still feel like the Xbox One came out like a couple years ago. Like my brain has not processed how long ago that was, and that we were several Xboxes past that because I'm not an Xbox player, and so I don't hear it. And so I've so much empathy about it of people being worried if their game is going to run on it. But I think it's going to be for the better long term because we were really spoiled by things like the PS4 in the best way. Like I love the PS4 with my whole heart. It's great. It's slow as fuck now in my brain, but like we're acting like this is a potato now, and it's not. It still makes like games like The Last of Us look gorgeous on it. Like Until Dawn, like it is such a good console, and frame rates are probably the biggest complaint I see about it. But it had games like Spider-Man and these really technically challenging games, but there's a reason we're not porting those to PC and like moving on and still needing to advance past that. Like, I think because it just performed so well for so long, people were like, well, why can't I have all the new stuff on here? I'm like, because it just doesn't, it won't support it anymore. Like, that hardware isn't being supported the same way. It's not. I don't know. It's a tricky situation and people are going to be mad no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, it does suck because consoles are fucking expensive.
But also, consoles are
But
cheaper than
also,
consoles are
but
supposed to
also,
be the accessible entry.
yeah, and then also, but like 10 years ago though. That's a
Yeah.
long time. Think about what you were doing 10 years ago.
Think about your phone you had 10 years ago and the phone you have now
My
and how
phone is
different the phone is.
I might be an odd one out here. I got this phone that I currently have
You have like a
in
Nokia flip phone.
2017. So,
What kind of
it's
phone do you
grown
have?
up. It's S8, Galaxy S8.
I'm Googling this. Hold on.
Yeah, when was that released?
It was released, God. And that phone is still $200 right now. March
Yep, yep.
2017. Yep. I'm looking at this. You're
That's when I got
insane.
it. That's around when I got it.
Oh my God. Well, you're not an iPhone guy anyway, so that's fine.
That's true.
Your phones don't phase out. Maybe they do. I don't know Samsung. I don't know. I had a
I
Droid
feel
once.
like I look, I'm pretty sure they have also done the what do you call it? Obsolete wear or something like that.
Yeah.
Um there's a name for it.
Yeah, when they just break your phone
If
basically to make you get a new one.
if they did that for this one, didn't fucking work. I don't like it's not great. It's not it
You wouldn't
makes
want to play
phone calls.
BL4 on your Samsung Galaxy
I could
S8.
probably run Doom on it. I
Okay.
need a new phone. I'm pretty sure with my phone plan I can actually get a free upgrade. I just haven't gotten around to going to the store to get it.
Okay, so we're circling back to that you need a new phone because it's
I've actually had a free upgrade available since 2019.
the fuck is wrong with you?
I forgot.
That's not on ADHD, baby.
I forgot for 5 years. What do you want from me?
To get a better phone. I need you to upgrade it. Tell me when you upgrade it just so I can like celebrate just privately.
You know what's crazy? They make it really easy too. You walk in, hand them your phone, they transfer literally all of the data, and then you walk out. Like, it takes minutes.
It does. It takes no time at all. I did mine from my old phone, and then they mailed me the next day my new phone, and then I just mailed back my old phone. It was great.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm probably
You're the wrong
I'm
demographic for that, but also you're proving my point by saying you need a new phone.
I'm going back to my home. I'm not even old enough to be this level of like technologically what the fuck is wrong with you. Like if you see a 90-year-old who still has an iPhone 5, you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, I guess. It's me. I'm 26.
You were 26?
I feel like I should. I feel like I should be more up to date on these things.
Dude, bro, oh my god, the psychic damage I just took. Oh my god, I'm arguing with a 26-year-old.
You calling me a youngin?
I'm calling you a young and you bully me and you're younger than me. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
know you're
fucking good
younger
at
than
it
me. I just
too.
forget how much younger than me you are.
Not that much. It's like what, 5 years?
Are you turning 26? Are you already 26?
Yeah, I've been 26.
For how long?
Enough. Couple months now.
Okay, so like 5 to 6 years older. I
We're
will be
basically the
32
same
in
age.
April.
Okay.
Disgusting.
Well, hear me out. Okay. Like,
I'm hearing you out. I'm listening.
look, my Jennifer's 20. Hang on a second. She 29? Oh my god.
I do the same thing with telepath.
Jennifer's 29, so I'll just tell her what to argue with you about, and then
She can be the
that,
conduit.
yeah, the age gap won't be as like, it won't hurt your feelings as much.
It's okay. Telepath's 28, so I get
I
bullied a
do
lot.
realize that's the equivalent of me arguing with a 21-year-old, which
So doesn't that make you feel just
like I would do. I'm petty, you know this.
I know you would. I'm petty too. That's why we do
You've
this.
seen my Twitch streams. I argue with people younger than that
Oh, same.
daily.
Dude, we're creators in the Borderlands community. We argue with people younger than that all the time.
It's wild to me that the average audience for Borderlands
It's
is
so
like
young.
high school.
It blows my mind. People will come in and talk about their like history homework, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't.
I'm like, what are you guys?
These games came out so long ago. How are you watching
People,
Borderlands 2?
so many people have come in my chat this past week and are like, I passed my finals. And I was like, oh, college? They're like, no, middle school. They didn't say that, but
No, but it's implied. You're like, okay. I know people are like, I'm on winter break. I'm like, oh yeah, like how did terms go or something like that. Or I'm like, oh, did you go back home? They're like, I live at home. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, how'd your classes go? And they're like, social studies was. I'm like, oh, okay.
social
we're,
studies, that hasn't been called that since elementary school.
we're red flagging that real quick. Don't forget I asked. Don't tell me any more information.
Oh no, what?
Please don't tell people where you live.
Social studies. When you grow up, it's called history.
Literally. Then it's just called life. Then it's called go vote. And that's it. God, nightmare. Anyway, a trailer.
Oh yeah, so I thought it looked pretty good. Yeah, okay, so I got some thoughts.
I thought you might, considering you wanted to talk trailer.
Big robot arm Doc Ock lady.
Smash.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, well, she's a little short for me. She's only the size of a two-story building. Like,
Exactly.
cracking
You
floor.
need at least 4.
Like she's the Wilhelm of the game. Pretty confident on that. Like that's gonna be boss number 2 or 3, roughly a third of the way through the game. I like making predictions and then pretending I didn't when they turn out to be wrong.
We love that. We love a consistent king.
Yeah.
40.
You guys are about to get some fucking hot takes from me. Okay, so first off, Smash, obviously.
Smash, obviously.
So are these like cyborg psychos?
I think so. That's what they look like.
I'm wondering why she's like slamming the masks on them. Someone brought up the other day that it looks like some kind of like mind control with them.
Yeah, it's like booting them up, powering them up.
And on the description, it does say, let's see, break free from the oppressive timekeeper. So maybe he's like, I don't know what's going on with the whole timekeeper thing, but
Well, this isn't the timekeeper.
yeah, I just feel like he's the one pulling the strings behind this, unless you think that it's like a
Well, I think so. If
three
you keep
sides
playing,
to it.
I think there are multiple sides. So if you keep playing right here, here's hot robot lady doing
Yeah,
her
hot
robot
robot
thing
lady.
with her robot army,
Psychos.
looking up,
Yeah. Mhm.
and then we
Angry that the moon exists.
angry that the moon broke through and disturbed their nappies. Obviously,
The IRL, yeah.
yeah, no, same. You wake me up from a nap, I'm homicidal. So, like, yes, I understand
Did
this
you
army.
see the moon? Feral.
Exactly. That's why we're recording on a full moon.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's time. It
We gotta be
explains
done by
everything.
midnight. We gotta be done by midnight.
Hurry, keep playing.
Oh yeah,
But
so
then
you got them, and then you got. I assume these are the Iridians. They look different
we
from
have
other
them, yeah, looking at what we're assuming are Iridians, because we haven't original homeworld actually Iridians, because Nekafei, like, whatever, insert BL3 lore here, Iridians, right?
Yeah, so we've got like the skinny guardian. So you've got the guardians, and then what would these be?
The little ship creature looking dudes. Because if you look, it looks like there's a person inside of the ones
Yeah,
on the sides.
those look like weird
They Imperial walkers almost.
mechs. Or like something with the like a Protoss stalker from StarCraft.
We have we have a
Quite a
stalker from
reference to
StarCraft,
it.
and we have Buzz Lightyear, or Boba Fett in the middle.
And then like dudes floating
Toad,
with scythes. Fuck
yeah,
it. I don't know what that's about, but
floating
take
mushroom
it.
man.
Floating Mushroom Man, yeah.
Yeah,
So if these are Iridians, which I feel like it's hard to say they aren't,
who's to say?
why are all of the ones that we see before, why do they look so different? Is it like are Vault Guardians vastly different from these? But then also you got the Sentinel, which would look honestly closer to these.
The Sentinel would look closer to these, and also I think we were looking at, evolution and different. Like, why do elf races in D&D look different? You know what I mean? Like, there can be different types of Iridians.
Yeah, this is just a very drastic difference, so I'm wondering what like functionally is different about
It
them.
gives me the Clone War vibe of like Star Wars is the thing. So this could be very like the perfect Iridian too.
And then also this planet's called Kairos, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why are all of the Iridians on Kairos? Did they like abandon Necrodefeo and come here?
Well, we don't know specifically their actual like Iridian homeworld, because everything with Nereid and everything, like, this could be their actual homeworld. This could be,
It's true.
or it could be where they fled after their homeworld and now they're the ones who invaded, or they were the colonizers here. They settled. There could be, either side to this. So I feel like we crash landed into a war already going on.
Yeah, this war, although it does seem like if I go back a little bit, like this side kind of looks like haphazardly put together.
Well, yeah, that's the bandit psycho vibe.
Yeah, so it's like maybe this wasn't ongoing, or maybe the Elpis crashing through for some reason has like given the bandit side of things.
Well, if we're crashing through something that is
Titan
like
force.
hiding this universe away or something like that, because here's the thing, we're forgetting about the Lilith aspect of this, where if Lilith is stuck in a different dimension and a vault and has fucked up the balance of science in the universe, and whatever other crazy theories we all have, if she's stuck out there, and the whole point is we're trying to find her, like, if she's here and this is where she moved the moon, then it's hidden from everything. So us crashing through whatever veil that really is up there could be like the same way that like Borderlands 1 opened up Pandora and like gave us Iridium. Like, it could be something that like awakens a power or does something here, and that is what's disturbing the order. Like, maybe the Timekeeper is protecting this place from that kind of, power corruption of the vaults and for himself or whatever, but like maybe it's something that is keeping that out, and this has broken that balance.
Yeah, something about the moon crashing in.
I think the moon is a problem. I think the moon is a plot point. Hot take.
It is in real life too,
Yeah,
and
crazy. The moon
it has.
matters. Be
I
nice to the
think
moon. She's a lesbian.
for some reason, the moon crashing in has caused all of these people, these fine cyborg psychos, to have a reason to rise up suddenly. Like they were probably scattered around. Kind of like, okay, so
I think more games need to be bolder. More media needs to crash moons into things.
I feel like it doesn't happen often enough.
It doesn't. We have a
It
severe
happened in
lack.
Infinity War
Yeah.
and never again. Like, what the fuck?
Truly, we're
Like, you hit RDJ with a moon and you just never do it again? No, that's not a
cowards, honestly. Okay, keep playing.
Um. Oh, but here's what I'm thinking.
Or don't.
So in BL3, no, never. It's gonna take us an hour to get through this 2.5 minute trailer. You know that, right?
Probably.
So I'm thinking in BL3, it was all just a bunch of like scattered bandit camps until the Calypso showed up and united everything. So maybe something like this happens. What if Robot Arm Lady was from Elpis? I
I
don't
could
think that's actually it, but like along those lines, what if something from Elpis comes down and sparks this shit going off and pisses off the timekeeper or something like that?
see that. It could also see just someone finding a psycho mask crash from it and go, ooh, I like this aesthetic. This is our battle cry now.
I feel like that is simultaneously the most likely and the I kind of hope it's something weird
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
answer, because like why are they just picking up a psycho mask and slapping it on someone's face? Like there's
Well,
got to be something more to this.
there's gotta be something more to it, and maybe because it's interdimensional or, something like that, it does power up where like the insanity from the psychos have leaked into this mask. Some
Yeah,
Hyperion
like
tech from back in the day, blah blah blah.
what if the Psycho Reaver, which some people are very torn on in terms of like liking or hating the idea of the Psycho Reaver.
People are torn on everything.
That's very true. For anyone who doesn't know, Psycho Reaver is the like entity that causes psychos to be psychos. Everyone on Pandora is like kind of crazy, but for people to go full blown psycho, they get like kind of possessed. So you see in Krieg, he's got the sane half and the insane half. He's like the one guy who's been able to maintain his sanity while the Psycho Reaver still takes hold. Explanation aside, what if the masks have something to do with it?
Maybe. I guess
Psycho
we'll find out
Reaver
in
leaks into
2025.
this. All right, I'll hit play.
Okay, but so we zoom out here. We
Yeah, we'll
see
get
these.
past the first 40 seconds.
Get past for 40 seconds of the trailer. We see these probably Iridians. The banging song comes on, and then we come up here to the timekeeper.
Let's see if I can get a good. Here, let me go frame by frame.
We love going frame by frame on a podcast.
I just want to. I just want to get a good.
You want to see the
shot.
daddy? I understand.
I want to see if he's backlit. I want to see if his face comes in. So he's okay. Fuck it.
I think it's intentionally obscuring it.
Yeah.
But that him crushing the mask is pretty narratively I am against the people below me right now. This is bad.
Yeah, so I kind of forgot about all that before I went on that huge rant. But you are correct. Yeah, so
that's why I said keep playing.
Don't talk to me.
I love you, you young bean.
It's not like I thought the bandits and the Iridians were on the same side.
Yeah, no, not at all. That's crazy.
But yeah, so obviously the Timekeeper is working with the Iridians, it seems.
The song goes so hard.
Above them, which tends to mean things. Oh, wait, that's what it is?
Borderlands 4? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this. This is the 4th game of the mainline game. Technically, it's the 5th game if we're including pre-sequel of the mainline games, but
it is the 5th, yeah.
It is the 5th, and people are never going to acknowledge it.
I've never understood their naming conventions, but it's fine.
It's fine.
So I'm also pausing so that, that you don't get copyright stricken from the song.
It'll be fine.
It won't be.
It will be fine. I also have a music-free version of this trailer, and also we'll edit it out, so it's fine.
That's fair. All right, so looking at this place, that's the ball from Disney World right there.
It does look like Epcot. Okay, it does look like Epcot. I didn't think about that.
So that's Epcot right there.
It's missing the Mickey hand from the 2000s, though.
It's on the other side.
Oh, I see. They're purist for, the early odds. I got it.
So this area is kind of slapped together with like scrap metal, just like Pandora tends to be, where somewhere like Promethea isn't. So I imagine this is probably would you think this is Elpis? Or do you think this is is Kairos also kind of like a war-torn planet that's going to have just scrap metal structures like Pandora?
Honestly, that's fair. I hadn't thought of it as potentially being Elpis, but it would make sense if you were looking at the fractures in the sky of like the way the sky fractured when Elpis crashed in. This could be a shot from like Concordia kind of area.
Yeah, because you've got
look up at the top, the way the rafters are, like the roof. And everything looks like Concordia kind of stacking when you have to jump around.
It does. It's strange that this looks like a weird combo of cyberpunk and then whatever you call the Mad Max style of BL1 and 2.
Well, what I think would be interesting is we haven't seen Elpis since pre Jack becomes Handsome Jack, right? And so there have been a lot of in-game years between even BL3 and when we saw it. So where it would be now, it would make sense that we would have these like more modern additions to something like this. But it does look potentially like if you look over on the like right side, it kind of looks like where you go in for like the stingray and the little holes for the catcher rides. Um
Over here?
yeah, like it kind of looks like, like the little
Yeah,
rectangle, yeah.
it
Thinking it's
does.
an early game where you go in there to get your annoying ass vehicles.
Yeah, I hate the vehicles in pre-sequel. No one
Yeah.
can
Yeah, no, not a fan.
live that. Um, Also, what is this? I just noticed that these are people
That
here.
looks like Hot Robot Lady though.
That does?
I mean, vaguely her eyes are glowing and she
And
has a
then
little red sash.
this looks like Timekeeper, I think.
That does look like Timekeeper. So that's the thing. This could be
What
war
is this
propaganda, and
though?
this is an Elpismer completely talking out of her ass, and this is the sky above, where it fractured.
Honestly, I think this could be. It could be okay. So it could be literally anything, but I
That's the
do
thing.
love speculation.
This is
Um,
speculation. This is so
what
valuable.
it looks like a bandit camp that would be on Kairos because it's a weird mix. It looks like a combo of Pandora and Promethea just slapped together. Like a bunch of bandits found an advanced building and just made it their own.
It could be. Yeah. No,
That's
it
what it
definitely could
looks
be.
like.
Yeah,
But
based on the propaganda there, I do think this is new planet we're looking at, but it does have that Elpisy vibe.
I think it's safe to say this is the new planet.
Yeah, considering we see Elpis in the sky above
Considering we
us.
see Elpis in the sky above us, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, what was? Here we go. Um, Scav. So
Yeah.
this is back on
Uh,
Elpis.
yeah.
Thank you, whoever pointed that one out. I forget.
Someone on was it Lewis? I don't remember.
I know Jolt said it. I don't know if he
Jolt
was the first
retweeted
person
it
to
from
say it.
someone, I think.
Yeah, it was in his video about the trailer, but
Yeah.
yeah, he certainly. I'm sure someone found it first. Also, we got the skulls on spikes, definitely Bandit Camp,
Yeah, no, this is
and I
definitely Elpis.
wonder. This is interesting. This looks like it could be Iridian. It's
Yeah,
not.
it has that kind of like empire look of like very sleek and
Oh, you know what? This kind of matches the vibe of giant metal arm legs lady. Like I
we
think
need a
so.
consistent name for her.
We'll call her Tabitha.
Okay, Tabitha. Cool.
Um, yeah. So like this is obvious bandit.
Yeah.
This, not this one, and then this is like new bandit. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
I could see that. I could see that. It would be interesting at least.
This looks exactly like the room that has the word scav in it, so I'm willing to bet. My prediction, this is probably going to be wildly off base, but if I'm right, you guys heard it here first. I think we're starting on Elpis and we make our way down to the planet below, and this is the first boss. This is the Shiv Knuckle
This
Dragger
is the
of the game. Yeah,
safety first guy.
you start in a scav base on the moon, and you got a moonshot. I don't know if it'd be a moonshot.
Well, I
No,
don't I don't even think we'll start on the moon necessarily. I think if anything, like I could see sanctuary like crash landing kind of thing, or like because if we're searching for Lilith, if we're remotely connected to this at all, like we have to have a reason to be here. And if we're going by the DLCs from 3 of these connections to Ava, I could see us having like we're here now. And so that kind of looks like a spaceship above, which is why I'm like, is that sanctuary?
ooh, actually, interesting. Why does it skip ahead so much at once? Hold on.
Right.
Sorry. Okay. Um, it's possible this is like, look at all these engines and shit. I think you're right. What if this is a scav ship
Yeah, what if it's a ship that's crashed
that
down onto either
crashes
Elpis
on.
or onto, because if we don't know how to get to the planet, but we know how to get to Elpis, there's also that too, of like
Yes,
crash
this
landing
could
somewhere.
be. This could probably not, but it could be a scav ship that crashes on Kairos, and then we fight breakdancing guy.
Breakdancing guy
'Cause
as our safety first.
this is definitely the same place, and like this over here really just makes it look like a ship.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the Rippers at the beginning of BL2 were they just built a bandit camp out of a crashed boat.
It makes me think it's new place though because of the plants on the left though. Like it looks alien. But and then
Oh, this one?
yeah.
Yeah,
And then the
this
graffiti up top.
one looks very new.
Yeah.
What's going on here though?
I don't know, but I love it. I want to know
You got
more.
the yellow over the eyes. I don't know what that's
But yeah,
about.
so this has been here for a while and is now growing over. So either we've been stuck here for a bit or whatever, but with a different, what looks like a different language. And this here, it looks very much a once shiny place has been overrun, overgrown. So I think it's new.
Yeah, this symbol is appearing over here as well. It's like an
Yeah,
X with an arrow on it. Yeah, that's something.
it is something.
Oh, this is pink. All right.
Congrats.
I'm so fucking good
You
at
are
commentary.
Eagle Eye. This just looks cool, but obviously new because that symbol's still fucking everywhere.
Oh, yep, there's the symbol.
And it's, yeah.
And then you got this as well. So this was also in the last area.
And it still has
Um,
that like Ridian writing on it.
yeah, it almost makes me think that this is just like the symbol of, hey, your computer's turned on. Uh-oh, you got a virus. Like, I don't
No,
know.
yeah, it feels
But
very,
it
very
seems
basic
like
at this point of like this is down, this is on kind of thing. Especially if
so I
we're
feel like
looking at it with the purple, it's like looks probably something being powered by Iridium. It almost has the reminiscent of Angel's Chamber. And so something timekeeper, something control with the way that Iridium probably works with it.
yeah, so it
I
does
can't wait
kind of
till
look
all of
like,
these are so wrong and we're just
oh, they're gonna be.
like we sound like the dumbest people on the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't wait. We'll see. So what it makes me think though is like this doesn't quite look like Iridian writing, but like let's pretend it does.
Yeah.
100%. So this would seemingly be the equivalent of if like the human technology found all the Iridian tech and it was more seamlessly worked together than it is in BL2. So like Timekeeper uses it for evil type of thing.
Solid.
Thoughts?
Solid.
Thoughts?
Solid. I'm sold. Timekeeper uses for evil.
He's adorable.
He's
I bet
adorable and I
his
love
name
him.
is
I would die for
Maurice.
him. That's Maurice.
Is Maurice.
Maurice 2, the sequel. Okay, this new place with all the waterfalls and stuff.
I
It
do
does.
love a good waterfall base.
I love a good waterfall base. The people in the bottom make me think that it's new because this looks so alien at that point. But the structure at the top looks so it's just Borderlands art style, but it looks so reminiscent of like Flint's area and stuff like that. Like it has that very Pandoran vibe that I want to be like, oh, it's Elvis, but like I think it's new place. Like look at the little aliens all around and stuff. But the flags
Yeah,
up in the sky, yeah.
this strikes me as the kind of place that it wouldn't be the hub, but it'd be somewhere that's friendly.
Yeah, like you would run in that little dome thing. Yeah, it feels like a refugee camp.
Like remember on Athenas when she opens the of course you do. When she opens the thing and there's the vault inside and
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
like this kind of architecture makes me think there's something important in there.
There's something important and
But
something friendly. Yeah.
no one evil is guarding it. They're just like, I mean, look at that. That looks like a monk.
It looks like where you become long rest. It's a safe spot.
Yeah. Okay, so more of this symbol. Which, okay, so I think that symbol is. Oh, this symbol's probably the bandits, not the Iridians.
I could see that. I could see that. But we do have the red timekeeper prop up behind us
We
too.
have the red timekeeper prop up, and it's got Iridian text under it. So it could be. Oh, you know what? No, this is probably like Iridian City, or adapted. Timekeeper has taken human technology and Iridian stuff, mixed them together. That's probably not a horrible prediction.
There's that
Also,
thing
you
that's
got
a little
this
cartoon
guy.
flipping us off at the bottom.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bandit. Definitely spray painted that on here. So yeah, never mind. This is definitely the symbol of the timekeeper. And
Or like a no
does this
friendly this here.
almost?
It like lets us know whose allegiance we're on.
Yeah. Does this like almost?
Look like an
No,
X
probably
over
not.
something.
I was gonna say look kind of like a weird ass hourglass.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I just think this could be like the symbol of the timekeeper. It just makes sense, I
Yeah,
think.
it's something.
And then,
Oh, my
uh-oh,
baby's God. Okay, hot take.
controversy.
I
Oh
need more
no.
caffeine for this. Okay, if you can't see the video, which you probably fucking can't, because I'm probably only gonna do that in clip. It's the Vault Hunters. It's the infamous shot of the 4 Vault Hunters that we know nothing about walking to camera,
We know everything about them that we need to know. And the thing that we know about them is what they look like.
and they're hot and would smash them all.
As we all know,
Would smash.
for every single one of the other games, you can look at them for 2 seconds and be like, "Yep, I know exactly what they're about."
I know
You
their
know
skill tree. I know their
exact.
personality. I know who I'd play.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Yeah. Um, Nuance is not a thing that exists. You know what they say. Always judge a book by its cover.
I think they look good. I do.
I
People
I
will call
think
me a shill. They already have. I think they're hot, and I like them all.
I think we should start with the lady on the right.
Okay. I'm assuming you're a Malamon truther.
I I think the big pants with tubes on them they're enough for me to be like, that's a good guess.
I could see that. I could see some lore being there. And it would make sense with the type of Vault Hunters we've had in the past. Um, Definitely X something. They also just kind of look like space pants, astronaut pants, so I could see both. But I think
Yeah,
she's pretty cool looking. We're talking
every
about the black Vault Hunter with the curly hair and glasses.
yeah, yeah. Every game has had a former gun company soldier as part of the Vault Hunters. You
Who are you
got
considering
former
in
Atlas,
TPS?
Roland, Athena's ex
Oh,
Atlas.
yeah. You said gun, and my brain was like, no. My brain just immediately
She
deleted
oh
her.
god.
Shield.
Yeah, she wasn't soldier, she was
Yeah.
assassin, bit
Yeah.
different, but she did work for
No,
Atlas.
she was, yeah, X. Yeah.
Um
A cosplay Athena. And I was like, who?
yeah, and they did do Atlas twice, but I don't think they would make a habit of doubling up. So Molly if we follow the logic of they wouldn't do the same gun company twice again, eh, it would either be Mollywan, Torg, Jacobs, or I feel like I'm missing one. A Tedior.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think it'll be TDR because we just got TDR New Tales. Jacobs just doesn't. We just had Jacobs and
Jacobs is
BL3.
an army. If you're gonna defect from a gun company, you'd imagine it'd be a bad one.
And
And I feel like,
Malamund was just in the Warren 3, and there's just like,
yeah,
yeah.
Torg and Jacobs are too loved by either in game or the community.
I also
Have
just don't think they'd have a unified army, yeah.
Yeah, like the Tor Corporation might. Actually, no, the Tor Corporation does. They just kind of fuck around.
Yeah, I don't think any of them would be on a team going to Vault Hunt in a different,
Oh.
yeah.
But someone being a former Mali 1 soldier, abandoning after Katagawa Jr.'s death, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Long-winded way of saying she got big pants.
She got big pants and they're cool.
Yeah, big pants. Okay, so big guy. Later on, we do see he throws an axe.
Hot. Smash.
It's cool. I do want to point something else out about that shot, but get to that later. So the siren, purple tattoos.
Yes.
I feel like that's super worth mentioning.
She juiced up.
I'm very curious. Yeah, someone did point this out. I forget who it was. I'm sorry. If you
Stealing
look at her
everyone's hot takes.
yeah, absolutely. If you look at her left wrist, she's got these vials on it. What if her tattoos are purple because she's just perpetually juiced with iridium?
She learned from Angel. She read an Angel journal and just used stuff.
I mean, there's books on it. Maybe she also has a book on it. Also, there's the theory that she's Emily Swan. I feel like we don't need to go into that.
We know there's a billion essays on YouTube now.
Yeah, if anybody who's curious about the Emily Swan
Go
thing, you
to
could look
Epic.
up Epic
Yeah.
NNG
Shout
has
out Epic
a
NG. Go look at his.
very
Very
comprehensive
passionate.
video about it, and uh, he's pretty persuasive. I don't.
Yeah, I
Uh,
won't lie. He makes good arguments.
yeah, it's a good video, I think. And then you got the guy on the left. I think he's the one we kind of simultaneously know the most about and the least about because we do see him
We see
do
him
some
in
stuff.
action, unlike the others. Yeah, in the same way.
Yeah, but he doesn't have anything identifying about him in this picture that's just like, oh, interesting thing. Not to, I mean, like, everything we've said so far could just be fucking wrong.
But absolutely, absolutely could be fucking wrong. I think if
And
we
I do
didn't
realize
see his blades in the next one, then we would be like, oh, I bet his arm cuffs do shooty thingies, but we know he has blades.
yeah, or like he's got the same cyberpunk shin guards that Zane has. Like maybe he's also a gadget guy.
Maybe he. I mean, he does look like a
Um,
gadget guy. He feels
he's
like more of our
honestly,
assassin type. Yeah.
yeah, he could be. He could still be a gadget. I need someone to be a gadget guy. It's my go-to. It's who I always play.
I think you're gonna end up playing him after you've talked shit about him.
I just said when people say that the Vault Hunters look bland, I think they're only talking about him, and I think they have a point, but like only with him.
I I want to say I understand, but I genuinely know this isn't even me just trying to be stubborn. Like I think I just looking at it from a costume perspective of like things to build and whatever, and it's so intricate and it's really cool, and that's just the first way I looked at it. You know what I mean? And so I
It
think
can be.
I'm biased by the cosplayer side of me.
So I'm going to put this in a way that is much more brutal than how I feel about it. Something can be busy and boring.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I just think that the
I wouldn't.
comfortability of it and then the cool armor of it is something that I enjoy. Um, I
Yeah, I
also,
wouldn't go
yeah,
that far. Of course, the whole busy and boring. I wouldn't go that far with it, but I will say, yeah, that'd be a nightmare to cosplay.
it'd be yeah. But it's interesting to me for that. Like the build of that would be interesting. Like the vest is interesting to me. The layers are cool, and so I acknowledging I'm probably very colored by me looking at it from a costume design perspective, and not from like you don't give a fuck about the what it would be to build the costume perspective. You know what I
and
mean?
and something we should point out is that like he does a lot of the complaints is like he just looks like he's wearing normal person street clothes,
Good. So do
which
a
is
lot
true.
of hunters.
He
Like
does. Like he definitely I totally get the thing that he looks like
Nisha is in very basic clothes. Axton is in his fucking, like whatever. Sal is in a t-shirt. Like it doesn't.
Salvatore is wearing a ripped t-shirt on top of another t-shirt and wearing jeans.
Krieg is wearing pants,
Krieg is
orange
wearing
pants.
pants. Those are his special pants.
They
I'm
are his
pretty
special
sure
pants.
Gage is literally wearing her school uniform.
Yeah.
That is the name of the default skin, is school uniform.
Roland is in his I defected from the military outfit. Like it.
Yeah, and part of the compliments of the previous Vault Hunters is you can kind of tell what they're about just based on their wearing. So like Axton, soldier guy, Roland, soldier guy. But then I would like to point out Zane, one of the one
Most
of the
beloved.
fan favorite
Yeah.
Vault Hunters of all time, literally is dressed pretty much like this guy is.
No, that's my thing
A
where
little
I
more,
just feel like it's very
little more trimmed down,
hypocritical.
I will say.
Like I feel
Looks
like
better.
I feel like girl on the right is very Moe's coded and guy on the left is very Zane coded. And people are looking at them and going like, we don't know anything about them and they're boring and they're whatever. I'm like, okay, I feel like everyone had the same comments about Zane and Moe's before we got character trailers.
Yeah, I wasn't in the community back then, so I didn't catch any of that, but I have heard many people say that it was the exact same rhetoric. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm looking at the person on the right, and I'm like, that looks like could be soldier or tech person or both. Guy on the left, that's just Zane again, but
Yeah. You're
like
welcome.
instead of Zane rich as fuck, looks like Zane normal dude
Yeah.
turned Vault Hunter, which there's nothing wrong with
He's
that.
very Tony Stark coded to me, where it's like the normal clothes and expensive gadgets,
That's fair. Yeah, no, I
which I
get that.
like. He has the messy hair, the gadgets, the whatever. Like his action, what I'm assuming is his action skill with the swords and the like subsequent shots look really fucking fun to me. Look cool to me.
I don't trend towards melee characters, so I am upset by it that two of them look to be melee characters.
I don't think they're both melee. I think Tanky Guy
Probably not.
looks not melee. I think he has gadgety stuff. Like it looks like rockets and things, you know?
Yeah, to me, he kind of looks like if you took Brick and Wilhelm
I could see that. He does feel
and
brawl by
mixed them
just
together.
how sturdy how girthy he is. But
Yeah,
he's a big
he big
boy,
muscle man.
big
He's the
muscly.
barbarian. You know, he looks like a melee
He
guy,
also
but
kind of looks like a himbo though, and like himbos aren't super melee. I
I don't know what that is.
don't know what a himbo is.
I might if you explain it.
You are
I might
a
feel silly.
himbo, honestly.
What the fuck is a
You're
himbo?
you're not a himbo. Himbo's a good thing. I'm reading you the fucking Urban Dictionary, or oh my god, there's a Wikipedia page.
God.
Himbo, a masculine pronoun, him and bimbo, is slang term for a sexually attractive, sexualized, naive, and unintelligent man.
Okay,
That's a harsh one.
it's kind of what I thought it was.
It's a good thing. It's like himbo is like a very like this one here, Urban Dictionary, large, like broad, taller, buff, attractive man who just is extremely nice and respectful and just like think Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh my god, I love. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
got you. No,
Kronk
I'm with
himbo.
you. Yeah, Patrick Warburton is just.
I
That's
love,
really funny.
dude. Why I love Vasquez so much. Patrick Warburton is a gift from God.
Men in Black 2 is like
So good.
perfect movie for the first 10 minutes, and then it's like pretty okay
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's when he's no longer in the movie.
that's fair. Anything
Honestly,
with
10
Patrick
minutes is
Warburton,
generous.
so good. He's so fucking good.
Um, God. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah,
himbo.
right. I mean, I am pretty tall. Like, I'm a big boy. I'm 5'2", so that makes sense to me. Oh yeah, and then
I live with a
Siren. I
himbo.
feel like there is so little comparison we can draw from her to other Vault Hunters. I think she is genuinely the most unique
Oh
looking
yeah,
Vault Hunter that there has been since Borderlands 2.
for sure. And people have said it so much,
That's
but
gonna be a hot take. That's gonna be a hot take.
it'll be a hot take. But I think the thing is that's been said a billion times online that people still want to ignore is that when we launch, you're gonna have skins and customizations and all this
That's
stuff
true.
immediately anyway.
That's true.
Like
I would like to I would like to go back and say I do think Athena actually has one of the best designs.
Athena's great. Athena feels very, very well conceived. Yeah.
Yeah, like they took her Borderlands 1 model and just made it good.
I would like to pick a fight right now.
She looked a little goofy in BL1.
Yeah, but they made her better. I would like to pick a fight though
The
with
helmet was
Gearbox
not it. Oh,
with
okay.
the belts, the amount of belts on all these fucking people. And like even like her sleeves, looking at her sleeves, insane. But like the wrist cuffs and then the belts and then the harnesses and the straps. But everyone has wrist cuffs of some fashion or variety. Everyone has at least two belts. I'm assuming Ninja Dude has two belts because he at least has the one holding up his holsters. And I'm assuming there's another one under there when we turn him around, and it's gonna make me feral. Potential Malawan girl has
Remember
one.
Roller Town?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Roller down trauma. But no, the amount like look at himbo. Look at our himbo Viking man. Like
He's
the
just got, why do you need two belts?
when Telepath and I cosplay Jack and Tyrene, we literally bring
No,
an
that's
extra
one belt right
box
there.
in the car or hotel room or whatever. That's just the belts. We have to pack a suitcase of belts for Tyrene and Jack.
Oh, but what I was talking about earlier, this right here,
Yes.
just
The
take
shoulder
that
thing
off.
on himbo.
Just take it off. I
Why?
feel like
That's probably his action skill.
if this is purely decorative,
I
take it
don't
off.
think so.
If
I
it's
think it
important, if it's important, then obviously.
keep it.
Like, because like Axton has the thing on his shoulder, and then you're like, oh, that's his fucking action skill. It's his turret. So like, if it is that, if this is just like cyberpunk decorative junk metal on him, then that's a little.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna place a bet on it does something. That's my hot
I
take.
see. I can't think of what it does, but I'm also not an artist or game designer, so like I
Well,
can't
if we saw him throwing an axe later, it could be
construe
something that
this.
materializes the axe. It could be his shadow blade kind of thing.
He's got a whole ass robot arm for that.
Why would he keep his axe in his arm?
Why does Gage keep Deathtrap in her arm?
Because that's her best friend.
You keep your best friend in your arm
I do.
as opposed to your shoulder.
I Helios is
Okay,
tattooed
so
on
wait, hear me out.
my arm, man.
Wait, okay, so Axton keeps his girlfriend on
Yeah.
his shoulder, his
Hmm.
turret, and then Gage keeps her best friend in her arm. He is gonna have both.
Yeah. Yep. Two
Anyway,
hand baby.
I feel like we've said all that we can say about them at this
I
point.
think they're hot, and I would smash them all.
I think as soon as we see all their action skills, everyone's gonna shut the fuck up and be
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
everyone's
they're
gonna fucking love them. We're just an impatient bunch of
alternatively."
assholes.
I said this to you before the recording, and I'm gonna say it again because I think it's the best take I've had. Sonic. Okay, so hear me out, guys. If everybody remembers back in the dark ages, so long ago, when the first Sonic movie came out,
Oh god.
the first trailer, Sonic looked terrible, and the internet was so ready to talk about how terrible it looked, and they bullied the artists into making it look good. You
I'm
guys are going real far with it right now. Any person who's like, I think they should improve this, fair. That's an opinion. That's fine. If you're like, the game is going to be shit because they look bad, that's a lot. That's you're doing the most, and you're probably not Lion's audience. I'll be honest.
No, you're probably not listening to this podcast if you were the asshole who commented on my tweet that I tweeted goes, "Oh my god, they're all so hot." And then you at Randy in my tweet and go, "If you care at all about the fans, you would completely scrap this and start over because this is so like offensive to the franchise and blah blah blah." Like you're not listening to me if you're that asshole anyway. And also you don't like Borderlands if that's what you're saying. You just don't. That's not what you care. Like what the fuck are we talking about here?
I like this guy's claw glove.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Little
noticed
knuckles.
that.
Yeah.
I like it looks cool. Um, but yeah,
She's so hot. They're both so hot. They're all so hot.
I love a beard. That's all it
I
is.
love his undercut. Like
I think
his
that's what
side,
does it for me. For
the
anyone who
undercut
doesn't know,
and the man
I
bun.
have the second greatest beard in all of history. Um,
Beards are
so
sexy. I will say that. I beards are accurate. They're good.
I'm glad I was born in the time period I was because if it was like 30 years earlier, beards were like not it, you know. Oh wait, that's the 90s. Oh,
Shut the
oh
fuck
no,
up. Get the
don't think
fuck
about
out of
that.
here. You come on my podcast. Talk
If
shit
you go
about
like
being born in the 90s.
50 years ago. Anyway, so yeah,
God, her
they look
hair,
fine,
the hair
guys. They
physic's so
look
good.
fine. Hang on a second.
The braids on the side of the man, but I'm
Is
obsessed.
he a different color? Do they put a different skin on him, or is it the lighting?
I think it's a lighting because his pant thing is still blue, and then that's still yellow. I think it's just lighting.
Hang on a second. Does this look kind of like something we've seen before? It wouldn't be one of the battle suits from
No, yeah, it looks very BL3-esque. It's like the Malawani kind of like I can't think of the not
the
killable,
heavies.
the dude before the yeah.
What, Trant?
Trump maybe, yeah.
Like one of those just giant heavy
On
suits, but
Athena's, yeah. Yeah.
it's too small for that, but
No,
it's
but like the
definitely
shape of it is yeah.
similar vibe. And hang on, was that him again?
Yeah, that's him again.
It
God, his
kind of
hands are
like
so
it looks
big.
like a different guy.
It's the lighting.
Also, this looks like an engine. I know it's the lighting, but I don't know
It's
it.
shooting guns. The guns look cool. The guns look cool. I would love to not have a charge mechanic on any of these fucking guns, but whatever. That wig would be a nightmare to make, but a lot of fun to make.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so yeah.
The man is a bionicle. I just realized that's not an original joke. God damn it. um, wait, hang on a second. What's going on here? I just noticed this. Are they on the same side?
I think so. They're
She's
matching
shooting over
colors.
here. Um, how has no one brought that up?
I think I've seen it on Twitter. I think it's a companion like thing from what it looks like.
So you
Because
think
we like a how
siren
Flack and Death Trap and stuff.
the siren could be the summoner for once?
Yeah. Which would be
Huh.
a cool way, a cool twist on it.
And I think this boy over here, yeah, clearly he's gadget guy, and I
Yeah.
think he's going to have. He's probably just going to be like Zane, where he's got different action skills, and this would be his melee build, I imagine.
Yeah, that's how I imagine. I don't think we're going backwards from that. Like I think you have the option to not make a melee build. But gadgety, obviously.
Line
I have
opinion.
hiccups. This is the worst thing that
Uh,
ever happened to me.
DLC skill tree or DLC characters?
That's skill tree.
Interesting. That's that's what you want, or that's what you think is going to be.
I I I think it's what I want. Like if in a world if we could have both, absolutely have both. I like the having completely
Right.
new vault hunters and stuff like that, but again, it costs money and getting I think realistically we're not going to see it in this type of game cycle. However, I do like the creative new ways to find new builds with characters that we really know and like go back and forth because it makes it so many different ways to play it and interact with that world, especially if we are doing like Vault Hunters matter more in the story in this one. I think realistically, it's probably gonna be skill tree, but the more build diversity we have, the more content we have.
Personally, I think they should go back to Borderlands 1 and put in DLC Vault Hunters. That's a loud silence right there.
Yeah. I just was letting you do it. just I'm
You
too
know, you know I'm joking.
I know you're joking. I was just letting you fucking
God,
I have no
okay,
fight left in me. I've been on the internet after the Game Awards, man.
I know, I know.
I don't have fight left in me.
Same. Hey, you haven't been live on Twitch.
I haven't because I like fucking slipped a
Um,
disc in my back.
yeah, don't do that. Are you
Yeah, don't
okay?
recommend it. Yeah, I'm fine. I like can't
Okay.
move a lot. It's fine. It's getting better, I think.
Um, I will say my Twitch chat, I am very happy with them. They have been incredibly civil with their opinions and have not been overly pessimistic. And
I'm
I
so
think
proud
they
of
are
them.
open to the idea that, when I say things that are like, I get your complaint, here's why you should still be hopeful, they are very receptive to it. So,
I'm
gas
very
mask chat on
lucky.
the other hand.
No, yeah, no. I'm very lucky with the reoccurring community that I do have because I will have people that come back who haven't been in months who will be like, "Hey, like you're right. I went back and played TPS or I went back to play 3 and I tried this and I'm having a lot of more fun with it." And people are generally open to that in mine and I've been gaslighting people for a year that they need to be hyped for BL4. So that wasn't a hard sell, but like it's very we'll have the occasional like nervousness or negative or like question in mind and people like can come voice their complaints but like generally like people want to be excited in the community which is nice because it feels like a bubble because yeah it's not the same everywhere.
Yeah, like I was in gas masks chat and I felt like I had to, well,
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna be like angry or upset. I don't tend to care if people have different opinions unless they're food takes, in which case
they're
I'll go to
wrong and I
war.
will be heated and argue about
No,
Taco Bell. Yeah.
I'll go to war over that. But so one person said, I was trying to be like, guys, the story is probably gonna be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
My prediction, it's gonna be a little cringe at times, but it's gonna
Borderlands.
be probably like it's gonna get us from point A to point B.
It's
Maybe
going to
it'll be
be a
good.
functional story.
It'll probably be okay. I don't predict it being strictly bad. Like BL3, I will
I
agree.
can't let you slide that. I can't. But it's carry on.
I know you disagree, and I know a lot of people disagree. It is the popular internet opinion that the story for 3 is incredibly horribly dumpster fire, and I'm like, Well, it wasn't good. I
I
don't
like
know
three.
things go.
I still have criticisms of three. I have criticisms in two DLCs and bits of two in general and stuff like that. Like it way less, but in a different way. Um, I also think people are, they want to feel right about
I,
stuff. And when the popular
I
loud internet
do.
opinion is I hate a BL3, then people say I hate BL3 and then I'll go back and revisit it. I like that people go and revisit it and come back and tell me they're enjoying it.
So I do think people go to extreme. I am an expert in psychology, if you can guess, and
At 26 years old.
there's a concept called group polarization. If you're aware of it,
Mhm.
if two, like, let's say you take a person, and their opinion is like a 5 out of 10 in terms of extremeness. Like their opinion on BL3 would be like, yeah, the story wasn't good, and that's as far as it goes. If you get 100 people whose opinion is a 5 out of 10, suddenly everyone's at a 10 out of 10. It's a thing. That was a bastardization of the
No, but
explanation
I
of it.
followed. I
I'm
followed.
certain. If you guys, if you Google group polarization and then you look at any community, really, you're
You see the
gonna
pattern.
gonna be like, oh my god, if a person has a perfectly like reasonable leveled opinion, and then you take too many people with that leveled opinion, it starts to become very extreme. People are like, it was a dog shit story, horrible, made me want to like,
Jump off a building.
yeah, jump off at multiple buildings. If it,
Yeah, several times. Respawn, baby.
I jumped off a one-story building just so I could do it twice. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I had someone in Gas's chat say the fact that Sam Winkler is the narrative director for Borderlands 4 is the reason I'm worried about the story for Borderlands 4.
Oh my god.
I just didn't bother responding because that's an opinion where you're already too far gone.
Yeah,
But I
that's
was like, this person worked on Borderlands 2, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
The
Battleborn.
DLCs for Borderlands 3, which are widely regarded to be the best writing in the franchise.
Yeah.
I don't think he worked on pre-sequel, did he?
No, not that I'm aware of. I think it was Fight for Sanctuary was the first like official like BL2 one. I could be mistaken on that one. But then also the Battleborn DLC. And then BL3 was he started as a writer, became co-lead writer, I believe. Sam, if you're listening to this and I'm fucking this up, I'm sorry. Come correct me, yell at me. But
His IMDb
yeah.
just says writer for everything, and I'm certain it's more specific than that.
No, it
So,
does, and that's the thing. The thing with Gearbox that's unique is that they still have writers' rooms like TV shows and stuff, and a lot of game studios don't do that. Um, and so there is that collaborative kind of process. So we do have different, like we have lead writers at Gearbox, we have narrative leads, we have creative directors, we have things who all work in tandem on different things and different projects. And so someone being narrative director of one game doesn't mean they're narrative director of everything. So there's
right.
still people that like people want to blame whoever. Sam is big on Twitter, and so it's the easy, like no one's looking at people like Lynn, no one's looking at creative directors, like there's no nuance there either. But also, Sam didn't come into Borderlands 3 at the beginning. Sam came in, and he's very vocal about this on Twitter. He came into Borderlands 3 after they had already established Maya was dying. Like,
Mm,
and
okay.
so when he came into the project and then became co-lead on it, a lot was already established in this. And so when people want to take and be like, all the problems I have with BL3, Sam Winkler, here's the problem with BL4, they don't
Yeah,
know what they're fucking talking about. And
because
it's
his name
also,
is attached to it,
yeah, his
and
name's
it's like
attached to it. A lot of people's names are attached to the movie too that had nothing to do
would
with the movie.
prefer that they
Yeah.
weren't.
Yeah. And so it's
I
just
think
it's very Sam is someone who loves Borderlands and knows Borderlands and cares about the product he's putting out there. And so people should, in my opinion, and granted maybe biased opinion, but should feel comforted by someone who cares about the franchise being narrative lead. That's
and also I think it's important that he has gone, like, look up his Twitter. He has directly said that aspects of the humor of Borderlands 3 he did not like and will not be in BL4.
He's vocal about his criticisms of BL3. He's vocal about things that he wishes he's done differently. He's vocal about being anti-AI and like game writing. He's vocal about really elevating other writers. Like, this is not an island. Like, this is a collaborative effort, and it's something that takes a whole lot of dedication to do. And the thing about Gearbox is there are so many teams that make the game that people are so passionate about what they do. Like, you look at cinematics, you look at, you know, casting, you look at all these different but from the gameplay to the actual like experience of the story to marketing, like, people care about this franchise. And it's really easy to assume they don't when something you don't like happens. And it's easy to then look for someone to blame. And unfortunately, people tend to be bigger on Twitter, tend to get the blame.
Yeah.
Because people who are vocal about it and willing to say things like, yes, I have criticisms about, you know, an abundance of humor in BL3, or I would have done this differently, or, you know, this was established by the time I came in, so my job was to do this. Like, people don't care about that nuance, and they don't care about that. They're just mad.
Something super important to keep in mind. That's what he's allowed to say.
Yeah, dude. Dude.
Some people don't realize that this man is criticizing a game that he worked on at a studio he currently works at. That's not what you do. So the fact that that's what he's saying, he's probably got some takes that we will never hear. Just keep in mind that if you have criticisms of the writing of the Borderlands franchise, more than likely those are shared, at the very least acknowledged. But like the devs have access to the internet. I don't know if you guys know this.
The devs have access to the internet, and they read and are on the internet, and because they're people in society, and they're not just, you know, invisible men behind the curtain. I think a big thing is too with like writing, like there's been plenty of things that I've written that like have gone out there and been produced in various capacities that I'm not happy with because the vision didn't align with the person producing it, or that I wasn't involved in the casting and the casting was wrong and that was there, or then the budget ended up cutting location, so it changed the location completely from this to this, and it changed the flow of the story, so then you had to cut this and they added this scene and it no longer looks like what I wrote.
But
like,
all anyone sees is
the final product.
Lion wrote this,
yeah,
or made this,
or acted in this, or whatever. Yeah,
fault.
There was a really shitty movie I did that will not be named. There's a really shitty movie I did. No one look it up, and I scrubbed it. But I had a really good like quote from it. Like one of the like lead people, the lead person on the movie, the EP was like very complimentary of me. And I used that quote on a lot of my marketing things for a while, but like that movie was bad. And I remember having explained to like my sister one day when she was like, yeah, I found that, because I said something like shit talking the movie. And she was like, oh, I was wondering, because like your website was like so complimentary of it. And then I was like, oh God, I was watching this. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, no, that's the thing. It's not endorsement of the movie. It's endorsement of me and my professionalism. That's a complete different thing. And so it became something it just ended up removing, because I was like, people lack the, like, if they aren't in it and like know what they're looking at, they'll be like, oh, I should go watch that movie then. And it's like, no, you shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. That's not something I'm proud of to do, but I was in it and I can criticize it. And, you know, there are things that can be proud of in a project that it just don't come out, but there's no nuance of it. And so I know I'm like one of the bigger defenders of Gearbox and stuff, but I just firmly believe that as a creative person, no one wants to put out a bad product, and bad products happen. And the bigger your company is, as someone who's worked in startups and works with big companies and works with, you know, whatever as a vendor, like when you have shareholders involved, so much goes wrong. Like, that's not the finished product we see is not the vision they had, like almost ever. And so it's one of those things that like you have to kill your darlings and go through stuff, because there'll be a problem with legal, or there'll be a problem with, you know, shareholders don't want to do this, or if we publish in this country this. And Borderlands already is so unique in what it does that I think we're just so harsh on a team who's truly trying to keep things like fresh and keep this franchise inspired and alive and true to what it actually is, and we're just so quick to like jump the gun. And the fact that we're criticizing, we don't know what type of guns are in this game, and we're seeing takes like, well, there are no pearls in the trailer, so it's disappointing to me that there are no pearls in BL4. Like, we don't fucking know that. We have no reason to think that.
What if the trailer is in normal mode and you don't get the pearls until TVHM?
What if we just don't want to do the trailer thing where you show every beat to something in a trailer?
Or better yet, what if they haven't decided if there's going to be pearls yet?
Yeah, what if that is something we're still working out mechanically? Like we're fucking with a color beam, or is this a thing we unlock later, or we save for the DLC drop because it's not going to be ready yet? So it's something that we want to do this, so it's actually launched the way it needs to. Like BL2 did shit. Like we want everything now, and I get it, but like we're blaming the wrong people. And
were there even pearls in BL2 on launch?
No, I don't think so. Absolutely not. Because wasn't that a fucking DLC unlock?
I'm pretty sure it was the UVHM pack that you get it. But
I'm pretty sure it's UVHM pack, and then it's whatever the next thing is for. I just went over this the other day.
I wasn't big enough into it to know at the time, so
I think it was the UVHM upgrade that like, gave us pearls for Gen 1 pearls.
Pretty sure, yeah.
And then it was Digistruct, I think, that gave us Gen 2.
I super wouldn't know. Yeah, I didn't play BL2.
Someone will correct me in comments. It's fine. But it's...
I didn't play until all the first few DLC packs had already come out. Like I think I played casually before Krieg and Gage, and then a year later, once everything had come out, played again. Something like that.
I think
I do have an opinion.
Give me.
Okay. It's about Ava.
Why are you doing this to me?
I think you will tolerate it.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a pretty common, very, very common belief that Ava is annoying, a character that people don't like interacting with, you know. Here's the thing. I don't think people realize that she's not a real person. And that her writing is subject to change. So here's an example. Here's an example.
I'm listening.
Did you watch Invincible?
I did.
Okay, so season 1 Amber versus season 2 Amber are two vastly different characters because everyone fucking hated season 1 Amber. Personally, I think it was justified by the end of it. And season 2 Amber, vastly, like, perfectly.
A lot of TV shows go through this, yes.
Yeah. So people that are like, oh, if Ava's in the game, I ain't playing it. It's like, shut the fuck up. Guys, what annoyed you about her? Fellas, like, what specifically?
They didn't want to fuck her and she was an annoying teenager?
Let's go with the annoying teenager part.
I think it's both.
So she's an annoying teenager. And the game takes place years later, and someone else is writing her and has heard the criticism, and they can make her more tolerable.
I stand by.
Ask for that. Like, why are you asking for her to be removed entirely? Like, give her the Amber treatment from Invincible. Just make her...
What a deep cut reference to have this argument.
I thought of that days ago, and I've been waiting for this podcast to throw it out there. Because I'm upset that I didn't think of it sooner, you know?
No, you're correct. You're correct. The characters can evolve just like people and aren't real people, so it's easier to decide to evolve them. You just decide to and work on it and write it, and it's great. I think that people are oh boy, people I can't, this isn't even worth it. I think people just want to be mad. And
yeah,
they are sad about Maya, and they still blame Ava, and blame Ava for having a reaction of blaming someone else for being sad about Maya. And it's ironic. It's a mirror, but that's beside the point. I I don't know if there's a way to win from the people who just don't want her there, but I will stand by for the rest of time that if Damian Clark had not voiced Handsome Jack, people would think Handsome Jack is annoying. If you put like a Ryan Reynolds in there or insert any random VA from back then or whatever, even take someone like Nolan North or someone who's like a good voice actor, if they had not created Jack in the way that Damien did, that now people are like attached to, and not saying Damien's a god, but just like the way he played that role is what people are attached to. On paper, Jack is annoying and kind of flat. Damien gave him depth.
And so he's not cringy. That's the part.
Yeah, no, he's douchey CEO kind of like whatever dude. Like it works for what he is. Like when he says son of a taint, it doesn't feel like, oh my god, like what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like it just feels like something he would say.
People tolerate being annoyed more than we're giving them credit, but I do think when it comes to cringe, that's when people are like, I don't want to be a part of.
But that's the thing. Ava didn't have like cringe humor do anything. She was just realistic. She was a teenager who was grieving and had an arc, and she was a realistic character, and people didn't like that in their Borderlands. And so it's one of those things that I feel like with new writing coming in and someone delivering a performance of like an evolved Ava, people would like it. People would actually like the character. And I think people should be challenged to do that. I don't think people should be rewarded for just deciding they hate a fucking teenager because they killed the hot siren that they knew nothing about. Like
I do agree. I will say saying she's a realistic depiction of a teenager is probably like a terrible argument for her because like let's say there was a character who's just a screaming infant.
Tiny Tina.
That's accurate. That's realistic.
Tiny Tina.
I'm talking like literally just a newborn baby that's screaming. That's realistic. I don't want to be in the same room as that.
Yeah, and that's fine, but that's such a false equivalency. That's such a false. Yes, it is.
It isn't. No, listen, because if you have an annoying teenager, find me a person who enjoys hanging out with annoying teenagers.
Mick, we just talked about how Jack was like grounded in who he was. Have you ever had an annoying CEO boss that like thinks he's a fucking god like that? You don't want to be in a room with him. If Jack existed in real life, no one would want to be in a room with him.
Yeah, but you get to kill Jack.
Yeah, cool.
I would love to kill that annoying CEO.
Okay,
but
cool.
Then that would bring up the Calypsos, where it's like, wouldn't you love to kill them? Wouldn't you love for Mike Tyson to have knocked out Jake Paul? Yeah, I would have. So, yeah, I mean, there is nuance to it, and I don't think I am capable of explaining where the line is because I don't know. I just feel it. You know what I mean?
I just think if people literally came in and Ava was allowed more screen time and an arc that is worthy of the time they had and had agency and stuff rather than, you know, being the vehicle of what should have been like how we feel. Like, I think it was a manifestation of how we were going to feel losing Maya there, and it just didn't land that way. And yes, this is something that the writers, including Sam, have been vocal about on Twitter, is they wish the funeral scene was not cut. That's it. But people who end up playing the DLCs go, oh, I like Ava more. Because guess what? You have more time with her. So you actually get to know her outside of just Maya going, Ava, don't. She's like, I'm listening. Don't worry about it. That's it. You have more time with her.
They definitely stopped her at a pretty fucking horrible point at her development, which is the low point, which is like the worst place to stop because that's when you hate them the most.
But that's my thing. Tina had nothing. Tina had an annoying voice and doing her thing. And like Ashley Bird is talented as fuck. Like that's not a criticism of her at all. It's literally Tina's voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the exact same with me with Tina as it is with Ava. Base game Tina, I do not.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there. And it was a criticism of, and we're not getting into the Borderlands movie right now, but people were mad it wasn't just a copy. And I'm like, you could not listen to a full movie of Tiny Tina voice. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. It would alienate everyone.
When you get Bunkers and Badasses in the Roland arc, and then you get Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is just the Roland arc again, she gets depth, and I think that's why people love her. They just pretend that they loved her the whole time because they think they did.
Because Borderlands comes in a package now of everything.
Maybe I'm way off on that. I don't know.
No, I think you're accurate. I say it all the time. I think you're right. You agree with me, therefore you're right.
Yeah, I'm more than... I will be the first person to say that I'm probably, I'm fallible.
Listen, Tina and Claptrap are two of my least favorite characters, and I'm looking at my Borderlands shelf that is still not organized from the move right now, And the majority of stuff are Tina and Claptrap because they're so beloved in this community and by this fandom that is most of the merch for this game. That's it.
Yeah, so I
Staring
will
at
say,
so many things.
like, let's say, hypothetically, they fully cut Ava from the game. I don't know how they could or would, because she's such a, like, important part of 3. Like, obviously, she's gonna be probably a pretty important part of 4 too. And you guys are just gonna have to get over that. If they were to cut her because of all of your bitching, what a waste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, like, just why would you demand she's out of it entirely? And they just gotta like pick up the pieces of some weird fractured story that they're dealt with now, as opposed to just make her better, like complete her arc.
Because people are afraid of what they don't know. And here's the thing, like if
People
something
don't think
like
it's possible.
if
People don't
something
understand that change happens.
they don't understand that change happened, they don't want to give grace for her, and they've already decided they hated her, and so it's a mountain. So if she's not in it, I think then it's a shame that we've wasted all this build up from 3 and the DLCs. And you know, it's one of those things where I don't think people realize that like the end product of something like we don't know what it looks like. And so all this screaming, if she's in it, if she's not, it's going to be good, if it's going to be not, like, it doesn't really matter. We don't know what it looks like yet. But like, this is your Sonic situation. It's the closest I can think of that, where people are just like, I won't play the game if Ava's in it on Twitter. And like Randy posted a tweet and people lost their fucking minds, including Jolts. And I'm like,
I forgot about the tweet.
and it's one of those things I'm like, why are we even asking? Why are we asking what we want? Because we don't know what we want, because we don't know what you're actually making. And so none of like my thing is the only take I have is when people saw the siren and they're like, oh my God, it's Ava. This is an Asian woman. This is not fucking Ava. This is
I knew it.
It's not, this isn't fucking Ava. Like, if you looked at Ava for 2 seconds and looked at Siren, like, you'd be, that's a different race. That's not her. And people just don't. And
Yeah,
so,
like, this was probably drawn by the same team of people.
yeah, it's a Borderlands art style. Oh my God. It's a woman Siren who isn't a skinny white chick. That's it.
I still think that best case scenario would have been Ava as the Siren, because the people who like Ava get to play as Ava.
Cool. Force them to.
The people who don't like Ava, if you don't play as her, she's not in the game for you. If you get to choose that she isn't in the game, you fucking morons.
If Ava's in BL4, I hope she's in it so much. So much. And shoves it down people's throat and make people like her.
I can't imagine they would cut her. I just know they're going to get so much shit for not cutting her, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not like,
again, I still think she should have been playable, because and the problem is no one would ever listen to this explanation until they hear me say it and they're like, oh, that
and the Mick will change lives. Yeah.
It's happened multiple times that people hear that take and they're suddenly like, oh, wait a second, that actually makes sense.
It makes sense. I don't think they'll do it. If she's not on BL4, I hope we see more of her, whether that's in Wonderlands or in a DLC or something. I do hope we get payoff from her 3 arc that was set up there. I just don't know if this is a Search for Lilith story that there's going to be much for her, but I truly hope we get an Ava DLC if she's not at least in the game, because fuck the angry mob on the internet. Let this chick have character development.
Yeah, because of course I've said, and you've moderately disagreed, that like obviously the devs need to listen to the hate, but hear me out. I love analogies. If you go to a restaurant and your food tastes bad, no one can convince you that it tasted good, but no one's gonna fucking let you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So, I think obviously they need to listen to the criticism, but if they just fully cave and cut her, that's just sad.
I think
it's sad that the community demanded it, and it's sad that if they listened.
Pivoting from Ava and the note on listening to criticism, I think the biggest thing for me is in a creative setting, a lot of taking criticism is learning when to take criticism, because if you just take all of it, you're going to contradict your thing. Your thing is going to be butchered. It's not going to be anything, because everyone is always going to have a different opinion. And so it's, if I give a script to one person and they have a note that's like, hey, I don't understand the motivations of your main character, and I rewrite the whole thing about it and I feel like it's really there, and whatever, and I give it to someone else, now they don't like the main character. I change it, give it to someone else, now they wish he was soft, like whatever, right? If I give that script to 5 people at first, and one person says, I don't get the motivations, the other people going, hey, this main character is really clear to me, I don't get the motivations of the villain though. 3, this is perfect, no notes. 4, this is really funny, I wish I saw more of the side character. 5, this is a really cool ensemble. My job then is to find the note behind the note, because that is all contradictory feedback, but there's a very clear thing where there's an issue with motivation somewhere. So what is that? If I were to just take that and then rewrite the whole thing for like this villain, this hero, this whatever, it's not going to be the same story anymore. And sometimes that's okay. And sometimes that's what's needed. And so it's like, if you hear a note a lot, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. It means, what's the note behind the note? And I feel like that's a lot of the criticism of games, because we don't know what goes on to make these decisions in the first place. So if someone reads my script and go, I can't tell they're mentally ill, make them have big letters on their forehead that say mentally ill, I'm like, nope, not the point. This isn't it. Everyone who's mentally ill reads it, gets it. I'm not going to put that kind of exposition in here because it's not the point. Then I can find out, okay, cool, then people aren't relating to her because they don't understand, this type of reaction. So then how do we humanize that? That is the note behind the note for that. And so when we talk about Ava, when we talk about in-game, when we talk about story specifically in Borderlands and what people are mad about, like, I think that there's so much more interesting takes and places we can go by looking at, what did people like about Jack? What did resonate with that? Was it just because it's new, or was it the way it was developed? What didn't they like about the Calypsos? And the people who did like about the Calypsos, what did resonate there? And then how do we move on from this? And that's a big thing with Ava for me, where if she's not in this game, why do we do all that build up and then not commit to it? But that's a whole different conversation. But then why didn't people want to give that chance? And sometimes it's just they're angry gamer bros. Sometimes that's it. Sometimes we fucked up.
I do have some knowledge of this. So with, I studied game design a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll go somewhere at some point. There's a really good YouTube channel called Game Maker's Toolkit, and they did a video about the production of Portal. And one really important thing to Valve in general is playtesting. Like, they would do playtesting once a week.
Yeah.
And like the first time they did playtesting, the first level was halfway done. An important thing about it is you absolutely need the criticism. It's literally the whole point of it.
Yeah.
But when the playtester gives you the suggestion, ignore it. It's like, pretend they didn't even say it in the first place. That is exactly what Gearbox is going to do.
Yeah.
Because they're professionals, and I'm sure they've also watched the Game Maker's Toolkit.
They have studied game design over at Gearbox.
Studied game design. And it's a fundamental rule of playtesting and game design is that if somebody outside of the development team gives you the solution to the problem, that's not the solution to the problem.
Yeah.
And you got to just accept it. I mean, hey, maybe it is. Maybe it is, but
it's usually
most
not.
of the time, it's usually not. And if it is, they would have come to that conclusion themselves.
They've probably tried it and it doesn't work for whatever other reason, or it creates 3 other problems, or whatever.
Shitty game developer. It's either they would have, if it's the correct solution, they would have come to it themselves, or they're bad at their job. If some amateur who has never made a game before comes up with a solution that they never would have thought of, they're probably bad at their job.
Yeah.
It's, again, like, imagine you go to a restaurant and you start giving the chef advice. Why do you think you know more? Unless you are also a chef. like I've cooked at home before.
I've made a better meal out of this at home.
Burrito needs turmeric. What?
Hamburger helper has better seasonings.
Maybe that'd be good. I actually don't know.
Who knows? Keep playing the fucking trailer.
I'm not a fucking chef. I don't know.
I don't see everything else going on. I don't fucking know. Like one thing that I have been thinking about a lot has been the shot in the trailer of the grapple grabbers.
Mhm.
The lead VFX artist had tweeted out about like you have no idea how long I spent getting this animation like right and to like make it feel right and like look right. And it's one of those things where we don't think about that, I think, in all aspects of game design of cool, the fact that we have made a grapple mechanic, now we have to find a visual that matches that grapple mechanic. It makes it feel fluid and then work with the rest of the gameplay. What can you do while you're grappling? And like why this is so many steps, you know? Like it's filling narrative then comes in and like fills in little plot holes or explanations or we need a line to prompt this or let's explain this when we decide we can or can't do something. Like that's why scripts are evolving and doing stuff like that. But like the amount of teams that are involved in just the grapple mechanic, like looking at that and knowing that that visual is this, and then we see it and then people are going to be like, oh well, if the things are painted yellow then like and we use it and it takes out immersion. I'm like, there's a reason they're painted yellow. And go back to what you said about playtesting, it's because they will playtest it 1,000 times and no matter what you do people won't think about the door. Like they will not look at the door and go, this is a door to go through. Like it's just
That actually
yeah.
was explained in the Portal video.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sure because it's
the
insane.
original design for Portal was like a post-apocalyptic rundown lab that's rusted and gross, and no one could tell what the fuck they were looking at. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't separate the environment from anything else, so that they changed it to like a really sterile environment, where it's just white walls, and if something is important, it will be you very clearly stand out. It's almost impossible for it to not be noticed. And that's what they did in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Because you have to know it's fucking necessary. If they have something that it feels like you're being babied, it's because enough people were not able to figure it out that they had to do it that way.
They had to do it that way. And also, video games aren't just for you. Like, people playing Borderlands for maybe picking up this game and be their first Borderlands game ever, and maybe their first video game ever. People have to make games for every gamer. And that doesn't mean like every game has to be easy and there can't be difficulty. And like, yeah, some people's first video game will be something like Elden Ring, and that's crazy to me. But like, it will
Yeah,
be, but
yeah.
it still has to be baseline accessible to like play the game. And so things like, I don't know, learning how to do stuff or like having aim assist at an option or like whatever. Like we could have a whole debate about accessibility bullshit, but like, which I am strongly for. When I call it bullshit, I mean the debate is bullshit. I'm pro accessibility every step of the way. But it's something that truly people are like, well, if I don't need it, it's that. There has been years and years and years of proof that people will not break the barrel if they don't know they can break the barrel. And
3 has actually been said to have not very good accessibility.
yeah, and so that's the thing. I'm like, if we're looking at how we're whatever, just there are
Apparently
so many
on
things good to it.
release, apparently on release, the subtitles were like really small and took up the entire bottom of the screen and were not good to read. So if you were deaf playing the game, it was just unpleasant to read the
That sounds about
subtitles.
right. That sounds
Or
about
if you
right.
just had the sound turned off for whatever reason.
I just think of
I,
Troy's screams at
I think
launch.
I think they made it better, didn't they?
Yeah,
Made the
no, they've made it
subtitles
better.
better?
I play every game with captions, yeah, and I've never had an issue with BL3.
Oh, even on launch?
I don't vividly remember the captions on launch, but on PlayStation, no. But I didn't play on PC for a long time.
I have heard that it was a widespread complaint.
I'm
That's
sure
as
it
far as
was.
I can
That
that
sounds
that claim.
familiar. I my biggest complaint is the lack of motion sick accessibility options.
Oh my god. Did you see my Dart only run?
No, I didn't, but that would
I put a
probably why I didn't
It's
watch it.
the only video I've ever put a seizure warning on.
I literally, the older I get, the more motion sick I get in things. And like, I love roller coasters, I love things like that. But like, if I play Wonderlands too long in settings, I get so fucking motion sick. It like,
Gas Mask did complain about that. He said it's the only reason he hasn't finished Wonderlands is because it gives him a headache.
yeah, there's just something about it. But
Yeah.
three has
Borderlands.
three's better about that. But it's yeah, and then I really need a mod for TPS that disables the fucking shaking of stuff. But
BL3 has so much visual pollution that if you stream it, your bitrate is gonna tank. Like you have to have a NASA quantum computer to be able to
Yeah.
handle it. Actually, I guess it would be upload speed, wouldn't it? Not the computer itself. Anyway, yeah, because it's incompressible because of how much is going on.
I mean,
Think about
Overwatch
this.
has a lot of that too sometimes and things like, yeah.
A lot of games have it, and I'm just like, fellas, you've over-designed the visuals.
People complain if they're boring. Like we just talked about the Vault Hunters for how long? For people going, one look, they're boring, done. I don't see
No,
flashy, therefore bad.
if we don't have strobe lights
God,
disguised
please
as
no strobe lights.
guns, then we're not playing kisses and pod racing like that. But anyway, yeah, I
Okay.
don't like it when people think that
I,
backseat game developer, you know?
yeah, armchair game dev is one of my least favorite things in the world, which is why I do really want to have some transparency on, like, that's why I really liked having like the composer on here and stuff like that, being able to talk about like the actual creation of something in a way I haven't thought about it before, because it does give me more understanding. I'm curious about it. It's my little neurodivergent rat brain wanting more information on it, you know, like, and I get that's not everyone's niche, but it's really
Yeah,
cool to me how
see,
much goes in making a game.
that's why I do. We were talking about this earlier before the recording. That's why I wish there was more transparency. I understand that there's things they can't talk about and things they shouldn't talk about, and I agree with that. I was more talking about like, or maybe I wasn't, I don't remember, but at this point I'm talking about behind the scenes struggles. We gotta normalize people talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an analogy.
You have an analogy?
Can you believe it?
Oh my god.
Spuddy was telling me about this. Shout out Spuddy Cube. Recently beat Borderlands 2, OP10, gearless.
I don't know if you can hear my snaps, but I'm snapping.
I did hear the snaps.
There you go.
Holy fucking shit, that video's coming out soon. I'm in it, actually. I'm gonna be
That's
in it. That's
insane. I literally, this the sanity required for that I do not have.
yeah, he spent 15 hours on Big Bertha alone. Not even Boom Boom, just Big Bertha.
Honestly, yeah. I don't even want to know about Bloodwing.
He found out he could. Bloodwing was probably the easiest.
Insane.
Actually, I can tell you how you could beat Bloodwing. Um, there's a little pocket you can hide in, and if you don't have longbow turret, you just arc it over. Actually, even with a longbow turret, you can do it. Um, and you can just hide and be
Is this where
perfect
you
and
hid
safe.
for your gauge run with Death Trap?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you glitching through that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a grenade jump. Uh, yeah, shout out Jolts for finding that. I don't even know if he found it, but he did it in his
Shout out
Death Trap
Jolts
bubble.
anyway.
Fuck it. He taught me it. Uh, but yeah, so in terms of behind the scenes stuff, are you familiar with the Ratchet and Clank games?
Also, Naughty Dogs. Going back, yes.
Um, their dev cycle was brutal. Ratchet and Clank 1 came out, and then Going Commando came out less than a year later.
Disgusting.
The devs were sleeping at the office because they couldn't, the commute was too much time to waste. There's one level that is hated by the community. Not even because I didn't even see any complaints that it was poorly designed or just strictly bad. It was just such a weird difficulty spike and just overwhelming that it was just brutal to play. It was not fun
Yeah.
level of hard. It was made by one person over the course of 2 weeks or less.
Broken. Insane. Does not need to
I'm
be that way.
legitimately, the game, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. I'm so upset
That's how they made it.
that I have been in such support of such disgusting practices.
Yeah.
Most game companies have gone downhill exclusively recently, like the big ones.
Yeah.
Apparently that one, Insomniac, has only gotten better, so that's
Yeah.
good. Um, Hard to go down from there, but yeah. So we didn't know that. So if we're gonna complain about this planet, all we think is, man, these people are professionals. They're getting paid the big bucks. They know what they're doing, and this shit sucks. That rhymed.
It did.
We didn't know that it was one person over the course of 2 weeks sleeping at the office because he would have been fired if he took any more time because they had to have a massive game out in 1 year. Again, really good game. I think we need more transparency in terms of the shit that game developers have to put up with, even if it's just the challenges that aren't anyone's fault, like the Face McShooty quest that we
Yeah.
talked about in trivia. Yeah. So that
I
was long.
yeah.
Your turn.
No, I agree. I'm just thinking about it. I'm very much I think we just have a lack of empathy. This is a society conversation. I think just progressively we've had a lack of empathy taking over a large majority of people, especially online. And so I think the easy thing is go dev crunch bad. Um Things like game
Is
leaks and create more dev crunch. Like it's bad for everyone. And so I think the transparency on the process after the game comes out is really important because you want to advocate for people and for anyone. Like if I tell people when I'm like working 15-hour days of work, they're like, get a new fucking job. Like they're horrified by that. Right. And
yeah.
it's very it's something that I feel like the internet with how polarized it is right now really lacks that. And so I get it not being public from a not a company standpoint, from an individual standpoint of not wanting to do that labor, being like, let me explain to you what this is, to have some, dick wipe on the internet be like, okay, but like you're lucky to be able to do this and the community is looking at you and then you probably will get like, whatever, like how it
I'm
goes.
gonna
And
I'm gonna go ahead and clear this up right this second. Game developers are not lucky.
no,
They're
no,
hardworking and underappreciated.
agreed,
Bottom line.
agreed.
They don't make nearly as much money as you think they do.
No, everyone thinks they're all like little like millionaires, billionaires doing this thing because it's a successful game and that's it. And they're like lap of luxury getting to like boss people around and laugh at people on the internet. And computers do most of the work for them anyway at this point. That's not true in any way, shape, or form. And if that's
Yeah.
people's opinion and that's how they want to commit to it, then I'm not going to change their mind.
The
I'm
less extreme
fascinated.
the less extreme versions of that apply to indie developers that get lucky and are wildly successful, or just like I shouldn't even say lucky. I take
But
that back.
it like it hits like the timing matters, and that's the thing. It's like making it breaking in. It does feel like luck, but it's not like I got lucky. Like I think a lot of times when Brie Larson won the Oscar for Room, and her like where they go off the stage after and then talk to the press and there's the things after the show. One things were like, hey, this you were like an overnight like stardom. Like how does that feel, like prep and like all this question about being overnight famous? And she was like, this wasn't overnight. I've been working in this industry for over 10 years. Like I've been since I was a child been making
Yeah.
movies and doing stuff like this. It may be overnight to you guys because you guys didn't know who I was, but like this has been my life and hard work and doing like this has been what this is. And I
It
think
was
of that all the
overnight.
time.
It was overnight success. It was not overnight work.
But that's the thing. It's like the tangible proof of success for other people defining it as success. But like she was a working actor. That was her full-time job. Like that alone is what some people consider the bar of success, is being able to like just act.
Yeah, like
And like
overnight
dude,
fame.
yeah. And so it's like you won an Oscar, the highest possible honor you can get for your career. You won it. Now you're successful. That's absurd. And it's just one of those things where I feel like people really have no concept of how much money it takes to make a game, how much people actually get paid doing it, how much time it takes, how many people it takes, how many cooks are in the kitchen, how much bottom line really does matter to things like now Daddy 2K coming in and being like, okay, well, is this going to make money? Then no, you can't have DLC Vault Hunters. Like, is this going to make money? Like, it when you are a publicly traded company, things like that matter and go into the decision making,
I
unfortunately,
was
for
I
everyone.
was complaining about that the other day on stream. I was saying a lot of the decisions regarding BL2 have felt incredibly clinical. And it's because I mean, like obviously they are.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the devs for the fact that the easy mode shield and the retainer don't work.
Yeah.
I'm so confident they could go back and fix that if they were allowed to by 2K
Yeah. But they're
or
not.
Randy. I don't know who to blame on that one, but
Probably
I do not
shareholders at that
blame
point.
who.
Probably just shareholders at that point. I don't think Randy would
Yeah.
be barring people to go back to do it. I think it would be more of a we don't have time or money to do this.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of jank in Borderlands 2. The biggest one really is the fact that the retainer and the easy mode shield just straight up don't do what they say they do.
Yeah.
Um, and by that I mean like in the peak buffs work, but the Roid damage and Nova
Yeah.
damage just don't exist. And that's sloppy. That's very
And I'm
sloppy.
sure there was a lot of crunch probably attributed to that because that's usually in a lot of in-game
Because
cycles.
the people making the Fight for Sanctuary were probably on the tail end of making Borderlands 3 and were a little rushed. They were probably a little rushed.
Listen, I think of this all the time when people complain about Wonderlands and in-game. My big thing is if you're looking if you're looking at it, yes, there are two different teams, two different franchises, two different projects. But because Wonderlands is successful, I think it gets to be that. And we haven't had an official announcement about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands 2. 2K made a sketchy statement the other day to refute the claims of it being canceled, but Gearbox still hasn't said anything. So this is a rumored game at this point.
I
But
don't
the
I don't believe it, and I have a good reason to, but you go first.
I my thing is if we're looking at in-game for Wonderlands and the money into that and building its own thing and where it became, if we're believing it was a DLC that got turned into a full game or not, cool. This is successful by any metric of success of selling copies of this game. We're allowed to make more of these games. What we can do is have the focus on that, the team on that, and have this out in a stronger state for longer first and push BL4 by a couple years to take the couple years in dev this would take to give this the proper quote unquote in-game people are going to want and build this out to have that life cycle. Or we do the sequel to this franchise and we do both. And you get Borderlands 4 faster and you get a more fleshed out Wonderlands game. I think that's what we're looking at here. And people just want to be like, oh, but like Wonderlands people didn't care about and it was this whole thing. Wonderlands sold really well. And it just you're able to do more with that. But like then people will be bitching how long it takes to do Borderlands 4. And I guarantee you they were working on BL4 when BL3 launched. Like this is oh my god.
Wonderlands has about 1,000 players in the last. Let's go with the last, not year, last 3 months. Let's go with last
Yeah.
3 months. Um, yeah, daily players
Around
hovers between
800 and 1500.
yes, 600 to 1,000 typically. It's in October it peaked a bit. Borderlands 3 has several thousands, and Borderlands 2 has okay, so Wonderlands probably wasn't a great example, but Borderlands 3 has more current players than Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
I thought Wonderlands had more than it does. I'll be honest.
I think it does when
Um,
you look at it was an epic really, you know what I mean? Like if we weren't looking at Steam, a lot of people did build on Epic
oh,
and stuff.
true. But same with BL3 though. Oh wait, this is last 7 days, 3 months. That's even better. Please, 3 months. And yeah,
Yeah, no,
so
it clears it. But either way, we're looking at like if you look down below the chart below you where it just has it written out there, like a lot of those are in the thousands from the last chunk. Like we have a few that dip in the 600s, whatever, but we still have at least half the people that are playing BL2 on some of these months.
yeah. Um, so the idea that Wonderlands is bad, like
Like look at the peak
seven,
players for
there's
the last 30 days.
700, there are like 700 people playing Wonderlands right now.
Yeah. On Steam only.
That's exclusively on Steam, and the game was Epic exclusive for the first year, 6 months.
6 months, I think. Yeah.
6 months. BL3 was a year. Yeah, the idea that Wonderlands was it was a monumental failure. Like, no.
Also, I think people forget that because this community plays these games so frequently, a lot of people don't play games like this. They play a game,
Yeah.
they enjoy the game, and then they play a different game.
People love to believe that Borderlands 2 is the most successful, it's the best, it's the only one, right? Borderlands 3 is currently more successful than Borderlands 2 in terms of average players on Steam, the
Yeah.
largest gaming platform. on
Yeah.
PC. Does not include console, does not include Epic. It has, yeah, like almost double or double
Yeah, I'm
the
just even
current.
looking at the peak players for each month kind of thing, and it clears Borderlands 2 every time.
Every single month, it is higher than Borderlands 2. So
Like
if you think
double.
Borderlands 2, like as a fucking 12-year-old, get more people are playing Borderlands than Borderlands 2, we just aren't hearing from them for
Yeah,
some
no, because they're
reason.
just enjoying the game and not arguing online about the Calypsos and Ava.
However, yeah, but okay, Wonderlands is a little rough. I thought it was better than it was.
But my point is, it's not a game to be built and played out like that. So, like, building a game like that for
Borderlands,
for like a Wonderlands 2, and then having BL4, like, if they had put in the years of the cycle that we have in BL4 into Wonderlands, I'm sure it would have shaped up to the game that went. Just like how we talk about pre-sequel, how people would be playing pre-sequel instead of 2 if they were able to have a full dev cycle. We've seen this before with Borderlands specifically. And so for people to act like, oh, well, like this was trash because like whatever, I'm like, you're talking out of your ass at this point.
wow,
Yeah, look at my baby. Look at my
it's
baby.
really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, Wonderlands is better than pre-sequel. Pretty sure. What's fun is Borderlands 1. This is going to be incredibly funny. So if we take this one, actually, let me duplicate this with there, enhanced, and game of the year.
Okay.
Borderlands 1, game of the year enhanced, and game of the year. Which first off, people complain about the enhanced edition. So many more. It is
So many more people.
five times as many. But if you take both of these combined, it doesn't crack anywhere close. It's not even comparable.
No.
So if you think Borderlands 1 is the best in the series, I'm sorry to say, you are in the minority.
That is true. That is
So
factual.
far off. Insanely far off.
From all of the other games. That's the thing. And it makes sense because it's the oldest game, but it's not. The point is, we need to move forward. We need to do new things. We're going off on such a long tangent now about a billion other things. We didn't even finish the trailer.
Oh fuck, this is the trailer. But yeah, so Game of the Year enhanced and Game of the Year combined don't crack Wonderlands.
Jesus. Okay, back to
really-
trailer. Back to Borderlands 4. Okay, so now we're in the gameplay parts of the trailer where we do see like
3
enemies
seconds of
approaching.
gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah, and the FPS of the gun.
Wait, real quick though. Oh fuck. Come on.
We're rewinding, seeing something. Oh, the thing he's swinging.
No, her gun.
Oh, yeah.
Is a scav gun. They have some form of bandit weapon. You can see the double magazine.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a guess. That's a guess, but I'm pretty confident.
I dig the guess.
Okay, so
This is Siren because you can tell by her wrist cuffs.
oh yeah, she's got the little
Yeah.
that look like injectors. Yeah, it's even got an arrow to tell you which way the battery goes.
Yeah.
And
And her nails.
That is her. Oh no. Oh, that's probably paint. I was like, oh, she's dirty.
No, it's black fingernail polish.
Yep, I realized that now. Oh no.
Oh no, she needs soap. Quick, harass the devs. Sam Winkler, why aren't you giving your siren soap?
She's a vault hunter. She probably needs it.
Probably.
How many times did you take a shower in Borderlands 2?
That's true.
In your 3,000 hours.
That is true. I've never done them once.
But yeah, people have said this guy's bad.
I've not seen that, but that doesn't surprise me because people are dumb. I think he looks cool. He looks like an enemy.
People have complained that it's like, oh, all the enemies are just like bandits, but with cyborg parts.
Oh my god, have
It's
we
like,
seen all the enemies in a 2-minute and 24-second trailer?
oh, fuck that. I'm like, even if that's every enemy in the game, do you want something new or not?
Yeah, no,
Like,
literally.
If they just released Borderlands 2 a second time,
They
with no
would hate it.
changes, I think they'd love it.
Well, they're not getting it, so they can fuck off.
I
Let
know,
us
but
evolve.
it's just like, I swear to God, you guys just want Borderlands 2 again.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Again, vocal minority.
Yep.
Gotta remind ourselves, vocal minority. This guy looks.
He has
pretty
knife
strange.
knees.
Oh my God, he's got knife knees. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Jealous someone a knife knee.
Oh, he had a weird clap thing. Oh, so they're bringing back laser weapons.
Which, hell yeah. Which makes sense if we do have an Elvis arc.
Oh, and somebody said
I saw, yeah, the catch rides are gone if they're like, yeah. But it looks like they're by station there.
Yeah, this kind of looks like a station, but also just looks like generic. No,
Space architecture,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's not a station. That's just architecture. That's
Unless
a
that is
fucking
a
city.
point where that is we can spawn from that. That's just what it looks like now.
Well, the thing is, he's just standing there. He's nowhere near it. Is the thing. It looks like like Elden
Yeah.
Ring torrent. He
It
just.
might just be once we're in range of something we can spawn it.
I do hope it's a spawn
Because there's
anywhere
a couple
thing.
satellites around us right now that would make me think that it could be something like that.
Also,
We're talking about the
this
car.
is a, this is a pod racer.
It is a pod racer. Now this is pod racing. Oh, Zane, daddy.
Zane,
He looks so good. Smash.
beautiful.
No notes. He does look very similar to the first Vault Hunter, though, and just he's a guy in clothes, but we just love him, so we don't think he looks boring. We think he looks hot.
He's got a cape.
You're right. He has a cape and a man bun. We're sold.
Just like the boring siren.
Yeah, exactly.
His is yellow though, and yellow's a better color than purple, which is fucking false. His little satchel. How many belts? Let's see. This two. This the kind of
That counts. 3, 4. If the first one's attached, I can't tell if that's hanging or attached. It might be hanging. And then if you turn them around, because you have the other one on the other side of the belt, so that would be another to make. And then the leg strap belt, and then you would need the belts on the knees.
What's this?
That's the thing.
Oh,
I think it's hanging. I think it's part of that, like where they do the tirines, where it's kind of a cape with sleeves rather than a coat.
Oh no. This continues down this way to this
Yeah,
belt.
it's like it tightens it. So yeah, that's hanging, and then like it's a belt. Yeah, which would be a bitch to make.
Okay. Do we have any thoughts? Because I don't.
I don't have thoughts on that. No,
He's just a guy.
that's our guy. Oh baby queen. Oh my god, who is this queen? The white-haired ethereal princess.
She's cracked.
She is correct. I'm not gonna make the joke I'm gonna make.
Oh no.
It's just sexual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
um
It's fine. I'm a lady who wants to be railed by this woman respectfully. Fuck you, Claptrap.
Yay.
Go away.
Claptrap.
He's
Yay.
cool. No notes, Claptrap. Fine. Whatever. He can stay, I guess.
No, but here's the question. What is this a skull of?
Something I don't want to fight.
That looks like a spider.
Oh god, don't say that. Give me arachnophobia mode if we're gonna do that.
Look at the spindly little eggs. That's a giant spider.
Disgusting.
Oh, hey, look, there's a building over here. I bet that's something.
I see a tree. I bet that's
Trees?
something.
It's a twisty tree. You know what that means?
I do want to point out the grass texture here. I do really love the shot, the depth of this shot,
Mm-hmm.
and the separation of the texture Claptrap and the grass. I think it's really artistically cool
I
shot.
bet it's gonna look really good in 2 years when the hardware can
Keep up, yeah.
with this. Yeah, like Ark Survival Evolved.
Why does Claptrap have a belt? I do.
He's got a tool belt. He opens doors, but now he does it with his.
I bet he has little
Screwdriver.
boosters that let him climb stairs. He just gets to hover over them.
But yeah, Ark Survival Evolved. It couldn't be run on max settings until 5 years later, something like that at least.
It sounds like a lot of games, yeah.
Incredibly poorly optimized. Okay, hold on. We're going very slow motion here now.
We're seeing the loot explosion here.
Yes.
I like
so
the
we got
rainbow effect they gave the legendaries.
that rainbow. People are like, I bet that's annoyance, and it's like, no, I
think that's just a beam on a legendary.
Jolts said it looks like they aren't bringing back melee weapons, which I think is presumptuous, but let's see if we see anything. Like, this kind of looks like a fucking club.
It
This
kind of
looks
does.
like
I could also say being like a sniper, but like the grip on it's weird, yeah.
This looks like Phoenix Trident from Hunger
It
Games.
does. I bet that one's a gun.
Stick. That's just a fucking stick.
Here's the thing, melee or not, there's no way these like 12 guns we see right now are the representatives of the weapons of this game. It is one random loot explosion.
I will say I am a little concerned that they got 3 legendary drops at once.
I knew someone was going to say that when I saw that happen. But also people complain if there's one. It's colors. Literally, it's just colors. It's a loot explosion.
I do understand the desire for, because been convinced. I do understand the desire for legendaries to be more special than you get fucking 3 per boss kill, but important to keep in mind, we don't know where they got these from.
Yeah, we don't know where they got
So
these from. We don't know what it is, and also
this
you
could
need
very
the
well.
same one a billion times and still have to grind for the other one. Like there are plenty. Like I like the rarity of them in BL2. It's also infuriating at times, and when you have more guns in the game, statistically, you're going to have more legendaries. It just gives us
Yeah,
something different to chase.
I think it's a little silly that I got a level 7 world drop Maggie before Mouthpiece. I think
Yeah,
BL3 was
BL3
drop
is
rates
too generous with what it
higher.
is. Yes,
BL2 it's a little stingy.
BL2 is a bitch, and I hate her. The
There's a
BL3 is
reason I play
clingy.
25x.
It's
There's a
like
reason I play 25x.
you need a balance between the two.
Yeah, so here's my idea. Because, obviously, me giving out, I'm the expert.
Yeah, your idea should be the one that's taken.
So, wouldn't it make sense for the drop rates to be low at a low level and just increase as you get higher level?
Well, that's what they do, and the games are they like higher drop rates and like the OP levels and stuff and UVHM than normal mode
For some stuff.
for most
Not
stuff.
for legendary for dedicated drop legendaries. For world drops, you're right, but for like dedicated drops, it's 10% the entire time. I think that even for dedicated drops, it should start low and get higher the higher level you are, because I don't want to have a full loadout of legendaries at level 20, and I don't want to spend 40 hours grinding for legendaries at Mayhem 11.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I think that would be a type of balance that I would theoretically like.
I should have said OP10 actually, because Mayhem 11 you're getting 3 legendaries per kill, which at Mayhem 11 I'm okay with. At
Yeah,
that point, when I know what I'm looking for and I need it,
yeah, no,
yes, please
yeah, you're
give me
playing
it.
Mayhem 11 for a reason, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I'm still at slow mode.
it's fine. We're seeing them run through these few guns.
Yeah, they just ignored them. I bet they already got a full loadout of legendaries. That
Okay,
was a
so
joke.
so we know
More
this
twisty
planet.
trees.
Yeah, the trees. This is a new
I bet
planet
they're
with
bad.
grass.
Holy shit! What happened to Elpis?
It cracked.
It probably cracked when it crashed through the
I'm
thing.
gonna guess the impact maybe had a problem, and maybe that has released something.
It could have hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a little wounded.
I think this is Big City, where a hot lady that you're simping for lives.
Probably. I hope so. She deserves it.
And Randy was in an interview talking about how it's open world. I do think that it's literally just going to be you can walk from here to here.
Yeah.
And I like imagine the map from GTA 5 with fast travel points.
Yeah.
I think the technology is out there, fellas. I think it's perfectly doable. It's
Yeah,
been
I
out
think
there.
we will have fast travel and you can walk. Like Cyberpunk does that.
I think it's going to be massive maps, and I think it's going to be okay. We're going to live.
Baldur's Gate does that. Like everything. Yeah.
Oh,
We can do
Baldur's
that now.
Gate. Yeah, the Baldur's Gate did it real good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I forgot to pause things.
I mean, it's fine.
No, it isn't.
No one can see what we're doing. I do
Oh,
like the gun skin on this.
we've already been here before. I bet
Yeah, this is a close up of walking up to that spot.
this is probably a legendary. That's a really cool design, yeah.
It's a cool design. It's either gun skin or just that manufacturer of gun style.
Yeah, I mean it's Jacobs.
Yeah. Moon
Almost
Jacobs.
certainly.
Yeah. That looks like a Malawan, but also kind of a Hyperion in the BL3 style.
It does look like a Molly 1 sniper.
Yeah. God, I hope there's no charge mechanic.
Where's Elvis? Think this what?
I hope there's no charge mechanic.
I liked it for the storm exclusively.
Yeah, like it had its moments. In general, it just frustrates me. And so I like
Yeah,
break
it
my
made me
fucking
not.
desk.
I didn't really use Molly 1 guns
Yeah.
because of it. I didn't hate it in theory, but also, what the fuck is going on here? Do you think this is like one of the final maps, and this is like the timekeepers using Iridium?
Honestly,
My
maybe
guesses are getting less detailed as it is
as it gets later and later.
it is 1 a.m. Big guy. Wait, he's got an
Hi.
umbrella on his back. That's cool.
Hi, Booker.
Oh my god,
Sorry.
is there a dog?
My cat just like made the like cutest little like wake up noise and just had this big stretch and is now just bathing his brother.
Hmm.
Oh my god, he just curled up next to him on the heating pad. Oh, okay, sorry. Paying
Okay,
attention.
so this guy's got like some earthquakey stuff coming out, kind of like Shiv.
He has a jar on his head. Maybe his name is Jarhead.
He's just got a lot going on up here.
He has a umbrella, so you know he was probably an object.
Plant.
Plant doing things. Guy.
That's just a badass psycho.
Yeah. These
Okay,
people look sick.
that's a Vladov, gotta be. Yeah, was that a plant guy?
It looks like a plant guy.
That's a skag. Oh wait, is that one of the Iridians that had the mushroom hat?
Oh yeah, that might be one of the little floaty dudes we saw. That would make sense because I was like, this armor looks very much like that Iridian start.
What the fuck is this
It's
thing?
probably a new creature we haven't met before since we're on a new planet.
No, it's gotta be old. If anything
It's a
new will
thresher,
give me
obviously.
anything new will give me a panic attack, Ryan.
I'm so sorry for suggesting it. The tube going into his chest gives me anxiety.
That's not where tubes are supposed to go.
No, tubes shouldn't go in your sternum. It makes me concerned for him. I feel like he
So
might be unwell.
these are just lightsabers.
They look arguably like a melee weapon.
Crazy talk.
I know, crazy.
So this is like part of the cryptic stuff, right?
The break free stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Grapple grabbers.
My baby. Okay, this is the thing said I was going to talk about like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, the sick ass thing when you grapple up and then the thingies go in the air and yeah.
Well, the thing he threw, is that a grenade? It looks like a singularity grenade, but nothing got pulled. Oh my god, I just noticed. That looks like does that look like a grenade he threw?
It does, yeah.
Notice everybody, it's not a singularity. It's anti-gravity. Everyone just starts floating.
Oh, that's sick. And then
So
beautiful logo.
I'd like to imagine that they um took some ideas from Wonderlands and put them in here. Like the idea of, hey, what if we made the grenades not all the exact fucking same as they've been for the last 15 years?
Yeah, crazy.
Which, like, hey, don't get me wrong.
Don't cut off my baby, keep playing.
Borderlands 2, innovated, right? And then Borderlands 3 didn't. So,
I think it was innovative in a lot of ways.
I don't remember any of the grenades from BL3 really. They honestly felt more grounded than they did in 2.
I think there are just a lot of them.
Yeah, I probably just didn't use the
You probably
crazy
just
one.
didn't use long grenades.
I mostly used the piss grenade.
Of course you did. We had the
It's really
unicorn
strong.
grenade.
It's really good.
Keep playing,
25%.
let me see my boy.
Why?
Because I love my villains. Look at him. Look at him. Floating. Doing villainy shit. Bringing that power without even touch it. He doesn't even touch it. He just does something with his hands and it turns yellow, not purple. And there's like this electricity and then he's glowing with it. And he has a dope ass jacket.
I
I'm
think
down.
he's a siren.
Sure. That's the plot twist here. He is the seventh siren.